okay, when they first appeared, there was no sponsors. Because, none of these bowls were sponsored. They were just the bowl names. The way it was.
Just love of the game, Dominic.
Yeah, just a love of the game. And then corporate greed came. It's like, we can make money off these kids. We can make millions.
And make more billions. Money off of these kids.
Because the first sponsors for this bowl came in 1986. So that's where you should say it, Dave. 1986 was the doom of college sports. Sunkiss was the Sunkiss Fiesta Bowl.
Huh.
From 1986 to 1990. Then it was the IBM Fiesta Bowl. 1993 to 1995.
These guys
then
know
it
how
was
to have
the Tostitos, 1996 to 2014. Then for 1 year, Daniel, the Vizio Fiesta Bowl. Then for 1 year.
They knew that wasn't where the money was.
1 year was the Battle Frog Fiesta Bowl.
Battle Frogs?
They were competing with Battletoads.
Exactly.
Battle Frog. What is Battle Frog?
On some like stupid Tough Mudder type shit.
Oh, Battle Frog is Battle Frog College Championship. Was a sports competition television series directed by
what the fuck?
Ron Lewinsky.
Never heard of this.
Hosted by Ron Pitt, sportcaster and former NFL cornerback, and Evan Darlin. The American Ninja Warrior, American Gladiator. Battle Frog College Championship showcases 16 co-ed rival college teams competing for a national championship and academic scholarship on the ultimate sprint track obstacle course. Oh, so they got to be a sponsor for 1 year to get that. They probably to get that going. Yep. Probably to get that going. They probably got the sponsorship.
That's just them feeding money back into themselves. Some incestuous ass bullshit right there. Look at these white people, Dominic. White people love running through mud and doing CrossFit. Carrying sandbags.
It only happened for one season. So that was, and that's what it was. Fiesta Bowl, 1 season, and now it's the PlayStation. PlayStation took over the Fiesta Bowl.
Sony doesn't have that kind of money either. I don't know what the fuck they're doing.
They give everybody, whoever wins the Fiesta Bowl gets a PS5. Listen, if that was the case, I'll be like, I want the national championship. I want the Fiesta Bowl. I want to go to Fiesta Bowl. And fuck that shit.
Hello, gamers, and welcome to episode 311 of the Super Ultra Podcast Arcade. I'm one of your hosts, Daniel Nicholson, and with me is my co-host, Dominic Stallworth. What's going on this week, Dominic?
Man, it's a new year, Dan. A new year. 2021 is here. 2020 is behind us.
The trash out of here.
Yeah, it's officially behind us. We're in a new year. This, man, hopefully it's a lot better than last year. Last year was one of the worst years in recent history anyway. I mean, yeah, it's been bad. It's been bad. But hopefully we can see some more positive things in the horizon for us.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's really hopeful
some
for
vaccines and some getting back to normal, Dominic.
Getting back to normal, or better than
the
normal.
Joe Biden nope. Sorry, Dominic. The Joe Biden presidency has promised you normal. That's it. We just go back to the status quo.
Well, then that's not good for me.
Okay,
that's not good. That's not good for me. Yeah, we're days away from the inauguration. Days away.
Yeah,
I think Trump is being very nice with this. He's I think he said, "Yeah, I'm going to leave peacefully."
I'm sure.
I think he's going to.
I mean, I don't know. The question is he even going to show up? Like, he's just going to sit and mope at Mar-a-Lago.
I was thinking he wasn't. I was thinking he wasn't going to show up. What's the Vegas line on that? What's the Vegas line on that?
I don't know.
Is Trump going to show up at the inauguration?
I don't know. I feel like he has too much pride to be seen dragged out. So unless he really thinks that they're just going to let him chill there until he decides he wants to leave, I would imagine he's just going to save face and be like, I'm not participating in the sham of a inauguration. This isn't real. I won the election. There are so many more votes out there for me, and so on and so forth, whatever.
Yeah, exactly. So I have no idea, Dan, what's going to happen, but
yeah,
it's going to be interesting. I know this. If this wasn't a presidency, I would be like, oh, this is really good entertainment. I love watching this.
Except for the fact that this, has implications on all our lives every day, and it's really sad.
Yeah, exactly.
That our country is basically a sitcom.
All right, so what you got? Anything to say?
Yeah, so I haven't really been talking about wrestling much. We've kind of moved away from talking about sports, but I did want to mention the passing of John Huber. He was Luke Harper of the Wyatt family in WWE for a long time, and recently had joined AEW as Mr. Brody Lee. He was a guy that I had always talked about as basically like what I actually wanted Bray Wyatt to be. Like I always said, if you've listened to this podcast and heard me talk about wrestling, you've heard me shit talk Bray Wyatt because I don't think he's very good at the whole wrestling thing. But Luke Harper at that time was a guy that was incredible in the ring. When given the chance to talk, which was very rare in WWE, he was also very good. And you really saw that once he got a chance to move over to AEW and they put him in a top position, leading a faction, the Dark Order. And then doing things like the extracurricular stuff. They have a YouTube channel and a YouTube show that was started by the Young Bucks called Being the Elite. And that just kind of let them go wild as far as like creating characters and giving themselves these personas. The whole faction of the Dark Order. And that stuff was incredible once he joined them. It's really sad. It came out of nowhere. He's been off of television for, it feels like a couple of months now. I can't remember when his last match was. It was against Cody for the TNT Championship. And he was the champion at the time. Cody had returned from taping a show, and he won the title back in a dog collar match. But yeah, he was absolutely killing it right now. Basically in his prime, because what might have been like his actual body prime in WWE was wasted, unfortunately. They sidelined him a lot, especially near the end. They basically didn't put him on television. He asked for his release. They didn't grant it to him. So he basically had to wait and sit home and get paid, his downside guarantee or whatever. But, to not be able to do something that you enjoyed doing in wrestling, it was really sad. From all the stories, it sounds like he was an incredible guy outside of wrestling as well. A really family-oriented guy, a guy that would go out of his way to get home early if he could, just to spend more time with his family.
That's nice.
And AEW this week just put on a fantastic tribute show to him. Every match included someone from the Dark Order, and they, of course, all won, which was really nice. There were tons of little tributes and hints, like different people using moves that he was known for. Lance Archer dressed up as Luke Harper. He had the dirty jeans and dirty wife beater on. It was just something that was really special, and they had his family there. He's got a young son, Brody. His name wasn't Brody, but they're calling him Brody Jr., obviously, because the character's name was Brody. And Tony Khan, the owner of AEW, actually awarded Brody Jr. the TNT championship. It sounds like they're basically going to retire that one. They're saying that he's the champion for life. And I don't know if the details are that they're coming out with a new design of a belt or if it's just a new belt, and the one that was like the hero belt, the one you always saw on television, is going to him. But it was really special. It was pitch perfect in every way. And was an amazing tribute to seemingly an incredible guy. So much respect to AEW for pulling that off too. They had, had this whole New Year's Eve show planned out, and it sounds like Tony Khan spent the Sunday night basically rewriting the entire show around this. 'Cause we found out Saturday night that he had passed away. So yeah, that's just been, an outpouring from the wrestling community of positive words about him, taken far too soon. And then yesterday I found out that MF Doom had passed away, and I don't know, are you familiar with MF Doom at all?
No, I'm not. I saw that, but I'm not familiar with him though.
He's a rapper. You might be familiar with him without being familiar with him, because he did a lot of music for Adult Swim. I want to say in like the early 2000s, there was an album he put out with Danger Mouse called The Mouse and the Mask. That was very good, and it had a whole bunch of clips of like different characters from Adult Swim, like Aqua Teen Hunger Force guys and stuff like that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I think
so is he on the intro of Aqua Teen Hunger Force?
Does he do that? I'm not sure if that's him rapping or not. I don't remember. I want to say
know
no.
who do those raps on like those Adult Swim shows.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't remember. But I was huge into him in like the early 2000s, like late high school. He had that album. He had the Mad Villainy album, which was him and Madlib, I think it was, doing the beats for that. He has an album under a different name, King Ghidorah, that was really good, called Take Me to Your Leader. Just like kind of backpacky rap, but he was just really good. And I hadn't listened to his stuff in a long time. I was looking up after I had heard that to just listen to some stuff, and I saw that he's released albums relatively recently. So I'll have to go back and check those out. But his music was always so good, and he was such a character. Like, he had a Doctor Doom mask that he wore everywhere. Like, nobody really ever saw his real face. And it was part of, his persona. And like, go on some of his albums, like the Operation Doomsday album, he had clips from like the old Fantastic Four cartoon of like them talking to Doctor Doom.
Oh, so he's like just like the Danger Mouse guy who always wear the mouse head in Daft Punk. He would always wear like the Doom.
Pretty much,
okay.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah, so I just wanted to mention them because especially MF Doom, he was very instrumental in my growing up. Like that is the soundtrack of my high school years, and it was crazy to hear that he had passed away. Apparently, he had passed away on Halloween, but his wife had just announced on the 31st that he had passed away. So, yeah, if you're not familiar with MF Doom, I highly recommend the Mad Villainy album, the Mouse and the Mask album. I think you especially, the Mouse and the Mask album, you'd enjoy a lot because of the combination of just it being really good music and having that Adult Swim tie-in stuff. It's got like Brack on there and stuff. It's really good. So yeah, I just wanted to bring those two up and pay my respects.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'll definitely check that out. Mad Villainy. Yeah, I'm looking at it now. Yeah, I like that. Yeah, that helmet. Yeah, that's really cool.
It was the best, like, like, especially like at the time the movies, like the early movies were out, and I always thought his mask looked cooler than any of the ones that they came up for the movies and stuff.
And how did he die again?
I didn't see how he had passed away. Yeah, because he was only 49 too. I hadn't read yet if they had divulged how that happened.
Yeah, and I haven't clicked on these articles to say they even say anything. I know I was saying nothing in the titles.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's sad. Yeah, that's so young, man. Like, yeah, both these guys. I mean, in their 40s. I mean,
yeah,
that's to die so young. I mean, yeah, can't even say you live like can't even say a full life, man. You still got some more. I think you have some more years on.
Absolutely.
All right. So I guess we get down to it. We get to what we've been watching. So I see you've been watching some things on your HBO Max. You want me to go first, or you want to go first?
I can go first.
Okay.
Yeah. So we have previously talked. You've talked about the Harley Quinn cartoon. Watching that and enjoying that on HBO. I watched the first episode of that. It was a little too over the top for me, to be honest with you. And I know that's what Harley Quinn has become at this point. Like, that's what she is. And I don't think that's necessarily the only reason why it just kind of didn't stick with me. I'm definitely going to give it more of a chance because it's just the first episode that I watched. You know, there are plenty of shows that get better. But yeah, like the violence and really the cursing just felt like they were just doing it to do it. And that's probably part of it. You know, you're given the opportunity to do this over the top thing.
Yeah, but I did. The first episode, it felt that way to me too.
Okay.
Like, it felt that,
That's
but to me, I felt like it got better. The show's got, as I watched it, it got better. It didn't take that long to get better. I think I liked the second episode better.
And I do like the underlying story of it. Like, I like her and Poison Ivy's relationship of basically like Poison Ivy trying to tell her like, hey, look, this Joker guy, like, he's no good for you. Like, he's not coming to save you, because she was locked up in Arkham, and you know he was like, oh, I'll get you out within the next day, and like a year later she's like, it's still in here. So I do like that premise of it. So if they continue on with that stuff and maybe just don't go so over the top, like it really just feels like, hey, they let us do this, so we're going to do everything we can in this. So yeah, there was that. In a similar regard, I watched the Birds of Prey movie, the Emancipation of Harley Quinn, or whatever they attached to the title afterwards to get people to go see it in theaters. And that one didn't do much for me either. It's, it's very much over the top in the way that I would expect a Harley Quinn movie to be, but I didn't really feel like the other characters really did much for me. And it has the same problem that I had with Suicide Squad, which is basically like, I'm going to throw a trillion pop songs in here, in ways that like just don't necessarily fit. It's just like, we wanted this music in here, so we're going to put it in there. And
that was the weird thing about Suicide Squad for me. I never understood that. Why the music choice? Situations.
Yeah, it's like, hey, these songs are popular. We've got the licenses to them. We're gonna, like a part of it is like, okay, I get that they're like using it as like a transition. Like, Deadshot's got this music, and then whoever's got this music, and so on and so forth. But yeah, it never really like meshed together. It was literally like somebody just put their playlist on and was like, go. I will say that I think with Harley, or with the Birds of Prey movie, I think the songs are maybe a little more appropriate. In some cases, they use like slowed down covers and stuff, much in the way of like you think with like a Gears of War trailer when they were doing that kind of thing. And that kind of became a very popular trope in movie music. But the movie overall just kind of, none of it really did much for me. Ewan McGregor's in there just like chewing up the scenery in a way that is like, I get that this whole movie is supposed to be over the top, but like, I literally asked my wife at a certain point, I was like, is he supposed to be doing an accent? And she's like, I think he's supposed to be doing an American accent. if that's the case, he's like constantly slipping out of it, and I don't know if that's because he's not a good actor or if he's just like trying to go way over the top and is going too far. Like I like Ewan McGregor. I can't really think of a ton of movies where I'm like he's really good in them, but also I can't really think of a ton of Ewan McGregor movies besides Star Wars right now. So that one kind of, didn't do much for me. And
what was that movie called? Something The Jedi? It wasn't about Star Wars, but it was... Actually, I don't think Jedi was entitled, but it did mention Jedi in the movie. And I think it was like a war movie. And really? He wasn't... I think he was like a... I don't know what he was. I seen it, but I don't... Was he a contractor? And then at the end, I know he went through the wall. That just like, what the hell? Because he did some Jedi trick or something. It was... Damn, I forgot what the movie was called. And I was like, oh... but it was all right.
Yeah.
Damn. But go ahead.
He was on Fargo, which I haven't watched, but I know you were saying he was good on that, right?
Yeah, I liked him in Fargo. Yeah, I'm trying to remember what that movie was called.
The only other one that I always think of.
I didn't watch that though. I didn't watch it.
That's on my HBO list to watch right now. That's the one that's like a sequel to The Shining. And Train Spotting is always the one that I think of for him.
Let me see.
Haywire, are you? I remember him being in Haywire, but I feel like it wasn't a huge part.
I don't remember. He was in Robots.
Yeah.
No, it's not Haywire. This was like The Men Who Stare at Goats.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Gotcha. I never ended up watching that one. Is that the one with George Clooney? Like mind experiments thing.
Yeah. With George Clooney and...
Big guy from Roseanne. Can't think of his name. John Goodman. He was in that,
John
right?
Goodman was in it too? I don't remember.
Maybe he wasn't. Jeff Bridges was in it. Maybe that's
The Man Stare at Ghosts. Yeah, because I think he did it and he went through the wall.
Okay.
He did something that go through the wall. He said, like, I'm a Jedi or something. I was like, oh.
All right. Yeah. Yeah, so that one was kind of also watched Close Enough, because you were telling me about that. That's the HBO series made by the guy who did the regular show. Has that same kind of art style. Has kind of that same kind of humor and stuff too, but it's about like two adults and their kid and their like divorced friends. I thought it was okay, but I don't like it so far as much as a regular show. This one I watched a couple episodes of, like 4 or 5, I was telling you. And it was fine as like just having it on, but like sitting there and actually watching it didn't really do much for me either. And then the other thing that I watched on HBO was Jojo Rabbit. I've been wanting to watch that since I think you told me about that movie originally.
Yeah. I don't know whether that's the first you heard it, but yeah. I talked about the movie on the podcast.
Mm. Yeah, and it's a lot of fun. Like it's, this boy who's basically in the Hitler Youth, and he has a imaginary friend who's Hitler, played by Taika Waititi, who was the director of Thor Ragnarok and is also the director of this. And it's very lighthearted in a lot of ways, but also deals with some serious stuff. He finds out that his mother's hiding a young Jewish girl in their walls, basically, and then he learns that maybe he's not. He grows as a person, and it's just a lot of fun. Sam Rockwell's in there as like a commander, a buffoon, basically. Like he keeps getting demoted because I think. Like the first time what happened, he like got all his troops killed or something like that. And then he screws up this whole thing. But yeah, it's a really sweet story. And oddly humorous for a movie about Nazis and Nazi Germany. So yeah, that was good. So what have you been watching, Dominic?
All right. So I've been watching this miniseries that came on HBO. It's on HBO Max. It's called The Undoing. It came out 2020. fairly recently. It's with Nicole Kidman and Hugh Grant are the main characters. They're husband and wife, and Hugh Grant ends up getting suspected with murder, but it also deals with things he's been hiding from his wife. So now you're thinking, is he really a murderer, or was he just at the wrong place at the wrong time? He had relations with the woman that he was cheating on his wife, but is he the real murderer? And it kind of goes through that. It's produced or created by David E. Kelly, guy who's known for The Practice, Boston Legal, Goliath, the show I watched with Billy Bob Thornton.
Yeah.
And what else he's done? He's done Picket Fences his early years. That's where I really first watched his shows. So I was like, and he's also the creator of Big Little Lies, I think. Yeah, with Nicole Kidman.
Oh, okay.
She's in that. So this was just, I guess, a little mini-series and giving Nicole Kidman some more work. So that's
gotta keep her in a job.
And Hugh Grant worked too, because I haven't seen Hugh Grant in years. And man, Hugh Grant, he's aged. He has aged. Yeah. But you know what?
I give it though, Dominic.
I don't know about that, but
okay.
I'm saying this. Hey, good for him. I guess. Hey, he's keeping it natural. He's not doing no plastic surgery or nothing. You know. So he's
that's not
obvious.
George Clooneying it right now. Not that I'm implying that he's getting plastic surgery, but that he continues.
No. Yeah, there is. When that man smiles, it is wrinkles for days, and yeah, like he's old now. But it's all right. It's all right miniseries. The mystery to it, and of course with David E. Kelly, it's always something with the lawyer. I think the only show I ever watched of his that didn't really deal with the courtroom, which actually ended up being in the courtroom on the second season of Big Little Lies, but it really didn't. It wasn't a focus. While Picket Fences, that was sometimes a focus. Like it'd be something controversial, ends up in court. And a lot of his shows, I think, because he used to be, I want to say maybe he was a lawyer. Maybe that's what it was. Yeah. So that's why they do, and and I like them, because it's like it's not your traditional. Well, what used to be traditional lawyer shows, which is like Matlock and Perry Mason, where hey, they go in, they do it, but they find the real killer. You know, and they discover who the real killer is in the courtroom and get them to confess. Like, what the fuck? That ain't fucking happening in real life. You ain't getting nobody to confess to anything in a stand. You serious?
You just gotta break them, Dominic.
Yeah, like they can break them. But yeah, that's why I like the shows. And this, it definitely deals in that notion. I don't know, Donald Sutherland's in there. He plays Nicole Kidman's wife. I said wife. Okay. I mean father. Father.
Yeah.
And yeah, he's pretty good in there too. But yeah, it's a good miniseries. I think it's like 6 episodes, and it's all right. It's all right. It's very suspenseful. I think I know it's a stereotype. I think like it really appeals to women. Like those kind of dramas that I feel like a woman will like. I like it. I actually enjoy it. Because it's actually a really good story. It's a nice story. I think the ending, I don't know I want to say it was bad. It was just, I wanted something better. But it was all right. Yeah. But yeah. But also, there's it's HBO show, so, you got some vulgar language and nudity and stuff. But man, I'm thinking that there must be like some leniency to nudity these days. Because now, like you used to, most of you ever saw was the butt and women's breasts. And as time went on, you got to see pubic hair, or they're wearing a merkin, which is probably not literally their pubic hair, but whatever. So you saw that. Then time went on, you start seeing penises, but then I always read like, oh, they're fake. So I'm like, okay, can you still show a real penis? I don't know. I start saying penises. I start saying penises a lot more in things.
Yeah.
And now, this is the first time I ever seen it. It's probably in other movies, but I haven't seen it. That's like out there in the open, like you see a woman's vagina, Like you literally see
Oh,
her
wow.
vagina. Maybe
They're
it's a
going
fake
for it.
vagina. I don't know. Do prosthetic vaginas
Some CG vaginas.
something? Maybe it is. I don't know. But I was like, Jesus. Like, this woman is just, not only she's butt neck, she's just showing everything. Good God. And she is shaved. I was like, God, they didn't hide it with like a bush or nothing. I said, damn. I guess it is going this all out now. I mean, now we're just going to literally, I think probably in a few years, you'll probably see people just fucking, just putting the actual penis in
Penetration.
penis in. Yeah, you're going to actually see that shit.
What desensitization on the internet has done to us, Dominic.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's what it's done.
Pornography's
It's like,
okay.
say, look at the people, what they look at on this internet, man. This ain't nothing. Like, Mr. Skin's like, man, nobody cares about Mr. Skin. They're seeing this shit. It's like, they want to see more. Anyway, but no, it's a good series. What else have I watched? I also watched, so I've been watching riff tracks. I was like, you know what? I kind of want to watch the Star Wars movies, but I might as well watch them in a fun way. And so
I don't like them, but I want to watch them, so I'm going to watch them. Someone making fun of them.
Since I'm got done Mandalorian, I say, okay, I'm in a Star Wars hype right now. I'm feeling like watch some Star Wars. I'm gonna watch the riff tracks, the guys who did Mystery Science Theater, and they're doing their funny talks over the movies, like funny dialogue and quips. So I watch episodes. So I'm going in order of like sequential order of like when they happen. Well, I'm trying to, because I don't think I don't know if there's a Han Solo, the Solo movie is called, of the riff tracks version of that. If it is, I'm going to have to look, because I bought these before, and I found out Rogue One, and they have a Rogue One. So I know they got all the mainline ones, and they got Rogue One. I don't know if they did Solo. But anyway, so I started with episode 1, The Phantom Menace. Watched that, funny. I've seen it before, but I haven't watched it in a while. So I watched that, it like funny as hell. Always hate on Jar Jar, like hating seeing him. And when I saying like how Star Wars, I was telling you before, like, oh man, Star Wars is racist. Because if you look like Phantom Menace, you got these aliens that obviously they're speaking in broken English, just like stereotypical Asians. Mm-hmm. They sound like Japanese, like Japanese speaking in broken English. Yeah.
Like the dude from Pretty in Pink or something like that, like Long Duck Dong or something.
Yeah, they talked just like that, because they were just joking like, oh yeah, make it so sweet and sour sauce, and I was like, that's not far off how those people sound. Like, so come on, you gotta be thinking that they thought this. Like, okay, we're gonna keep them in like, maybe make them like Japanese, like, or Asian, some type of Asian dialect. These aliens.
That was George Lucas's idea of diversity.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Of course, the Jar Jar thing.
People talk like Asians. We're gonna have people talk like black people.
Well, I don't know. Jar Jar's talk like black people, but he has those connotations of that.
He
silly
talks like bad fucking whatchamacallit minstrel show. Yeah. No, he doesn't talk like actual black people, but he talks about what racist white people thought black people talked like back in the day.
Yeah. See, maybe that's the subconscious thing, Daniel, because he don't think he's racist. Come on, he's married to a white and black woman. He ain't racist.
Oh yeah, I mean, I don't want to sit here and say that George Lucas is a blatant racist.
He did Red Tails.
Red Tails. He's got black friends.
Yeah. So anyway, I mean, it could be what I'm saying, is a subconscious thing. Oh, like he just thought, like, look, it's funny, but he didn't see that. He didn't see it that way.
Right.
I mean, as a kid, I didn't see it that way either. I saw it as something stupid, though, because it wasn't funny. Because I sure when the hell wasn't laughing.
Yeah.
But anyway, what's it else? I mean, then you go back to the older ones with Lando Calrissian with his guy, his little part alien dude. And well, you see him in the newer movies too, like just in the side. He ain't saying nothing.
Yeah.
Just to say like, oh, it's a callback. He was in episode 6. He was in episode 6. He's kind of look Hispanic. He kind of looks Hispanic. I mean, that was like, come on. They know what they were doing. Even back in the day, they know what they were doing. They had Lando with the Hispanic guy, and just had him like an alien. But anyway, yeah, watching Clone Wars, I think Clone Wars is the worst one of the 3. Like, I know it's an argument between episode 1 and episode 2. Mm-hmm. I want to say Clone Wars. It's close. Just because the love scenes in episode 2, it was
sitting
so
in fields,
cringy,
talking about feelings,
and it was not emotional at all. Like, everything was talked about, and the way it didn't feel natural. The way they talked, like it's supposed to be like some type of poetry or something,
very
like
cardboard,
yeah, like Shakespeare or something like what they were. Oh my god, I'm like, what the hell? And then the whole thing, like I'm a senator. We can't be together. You're a Jedi. I'm a senator. I don't know what you being a senator got doing anything. You're a senator.
Yeah,
you should have relations.
They might find out about us, Dominic. I find out that I'm having a relationship with a Jedi.
But I mean, I understand it for him. But I don't know. I kind of wish the Jedi were not known to be this type of cultish type of thing, or monks. Yeah. I kind of wish they weren't known to be monks. I feel like, oh, you can't love or something. It's like, love? Come on, love should be. You should love because it leads to the dark side. It's like, oh my god, are you serious?
Everything leads to the dark side. Everything fun leads to the dark side, Dominic.
It's like you be emotionless, but they're never emotionless. They get angry, they get upset. It's like, what are you doing? I said, whatever. Also, episode. So Revenge of the Sith, of course, that's the best of the first 3.
Yeah,
but there's the problems. I mean, look, there was no Clone Wars cartoon. So this is it. This is what you got. Episode 2, episode 3. Now, I don't know if there was books in between. Now, I don't know if were there books that were set between 2 and 3 before the movie came out? Because some of the books I saw,
I want to say
they came out after. They came out after the movie came out. And said,
I want to say no, like George Lucas was like, nobody can touch this time frame until I'm done with it.
Yeah, that's what I would think. Because then I'm thinking, who the fuck is General Grievous?
Exactly.
Like, where the hell did he come from? It's so
sad, too, because like I remember first seeing him and being like, this dude looks cool as shit. And then you see him for the first time in the movie and he's like coughing and wheezing. And it's like, yeah, what the fuck is this guy? And
he's supposed to be the pre-Darth Vader. But he's the pre-Darth Vader because he's breathing. But I guess he got a failed machine body. Yeah, Darth Vader's gonna have a better machine body. But I'm like, man, who the hell's General Grievous? And then you know what? Now that we have a Clone Wars, people say that helps it. Daniel, actually, it makes the movie worse. The way that Dooku talks.
Why'd you fuck up all this cool shit?
The way that Dooku talks to Anakin and Obi-Wan is like he hasn't seen them since the last movie.
Right.
Well, the Clone Wars, they've seen each other a lot. And because Anakin was like, my powers have doubled the last time you seen me. I was like, you seen them quite a few times in the Clone Wars, Anakin. like this would have made a whole lot more sense. It was like, hey, you haven't seen them since the Attack of the Clones. But it's like, you've seen them. And then like also with Palpatine saying, you can't face him. He's a Sith Lord. They faced him multiple times and lived.
Been there, done that.
Like, so in the context of the movie, if you just go by the movies, the context can make sense. But now that you're saying that the Clone Wars is canon, that whole dialogue does not make any fucking sense at all. The way they're talking. none of that makes sense. Yeah, I mean, the dialogue is so stale in these movies. Like, the writing is so bad because the way they talk to each other, it doesn't feel like they're knowing each other, they're friends or anything. It's like, man, the Clone Wars is better than the movies as far as dialogue, man. I mean, as far as show too. I mean, you might just say the whole Clone Wars is just better than the prequels. But it's ridiculous how bad the dialogue and the acting was. And it's not the fault of the actors because we've seen these actors in other movies. Like Natalie Portman's not that. Come on, she's not that bad at all. That's gotta be. I mean, I haven't seen all her movies, but that's the worst I've seen her acting is Star Wars.
Yeah. And it's not that you can even say she was young. Like, she was in Leon the Professional before she was in that movie, and she was perfectly fine.
And then you have, I mean, the way Ewan McGregor talks to Christensen. What's his name? I was about to say Ashton
Hayden Christensen.
Hayden Christensen. The way they talk, it's like, nah, I'm not getting the feeling like y'all were friends. I'm not getting that feeling the way y'all talk to each other. I get that in Clone Wars, that definitely helps with it, but these movies, nah. Yeah, these movies are bad, and these movies were bad, but Rip Tracks make it a whole lot funnier. It makes it so much easier to watch them. I like that. Just like I was when I watched some of Twilight. I watched the whole Twilight series through Rip Tracks. Yeah. And that made that so much better. Because those movies were bad. And now I'm going to go back and watch them again because I haven't watched it thoroughly because I might have had it on the background and I'll just have it on. But I kind of want to watch it like just to see all the jokes and stuff. But because it was funny what I seen. But yeah. Oh, but Rogue One. And I'm going back. I haven't finished it yet, but I'm more than halfway through Rogue One with Riff Tracks. They're funny, but I actually enjoyed that movie. And watching it again, even after people saying all the bad things, people who were criticizing it, not everybody was criticizing it. People did like it, but there were people critiquing the critiques of it. Even after all that, and watching it again, get a new perspective, seeing like, okay, I understand their critiques. I still enjoy this. I still enjoy Rogue One. Say that again? I hear you.
I was just agreeing with you. Yeah, I think it's a good movie.
Yeah. I'm like, I don't know how the people who did say it was terrible, I just can't see it. I can't see it. I'm trying to look in the eyes like, okay, I want to be really critical of this. I don't know, for a Star Wars movie, it's pretty damn good to me. Like, I like it better than the prequels. And I like it better than Last Jedi. At the time, I did like it better than Force Awakens. I might still do. I gotta see Force Awakens again. I think I might still do. This might be the favorite, as far as movies go, this might be the favorite of the new universe, Star Wars, for me personally. I like that. I like the robot.
Yeah.
Now, the only thing I agree with people is Forrest Whitaker is not being great. That's it.
Yeah.
But that didn't kill the movie for me. Because I can find that in other movies too, like these actors, some of these things being bad, like actors being bad and stuff. You know, it's like, but that because he ain't there the whole fucking movie. He was in like a few scenes and then he dies. So that didn't kill it for me. And also people say because you don't get invested into some of the characters, so you don't really care. I kind of understand that, but it's like, maybe I don't care as much as I care about in other movies, but I don't disregard them either. It's not like, I think they were fine. They were fine. Like, I'm not invested in them, but I don't know. I think I was invested enough. It could have been better, yes. I think it could have been better in investment in characters. Investing in the characters, I think, yeah, it probably could have been better. Maybe I would have preferred it that they didn't all just meet up. Maybe that she was just the new person to the group, and he had a group. You know, and maybe that would make it a lot better. Because it's basically just the blonde guy and the other guy with the big chain gun who are just friends. They all just kind of just meet up, you know. and they just met up by accident. So I understand that, but I don't know, for some reason that doesn't kill the movie for me. Like, I think still Rogue One is the best, probably the 5 Star Wars movies that we got post George Lucas. Now what do you think? I know you say you enjoyed it, but what do you think about Rogue One compared to the new movies?
I would say maybe I would put Force Awakens a little higher than it, just because probably because of the nostalgia factor and it being a more Star Warsy movie. I mean, like, I like the lightsaber stuff, which you don't really get in that movie. But as far as like an actual film, I think it's kind of far and away better than all of those. Just as a movie, like as a standalone movie, it stands by itself without needing to necessarily be Star Wars. In a way that I think Mandalorian was really doing that.
That's
they
what
started
I think
going in the direction of, we're going to put all this Star Wars stuff in there.
That's what I felt with this, because I was thinking that what if this movie was just like a series, not in the movie theaters? I think some people would probably enjoy it more. I mean, they would realize they would really like it if it wasn't set in theaters, like it was made to like a mini series or something. Because I'm looking at this compared to Mandalorian, like looking at this again, I'm thinking this is all right. It's not over the top like the prequels. It's not like a whole big lot of battles and stuff for like the last battle at the end, that's understandable.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was toned down, because I think they even do a joke about, because when they went to the planet where her father was there, I think the scene where he died, and there was the TIE fighters fighting the X-Wings, and Riff Tracks was talking about how, man, if you told me as a kid if I would get bored with space fights or something like that, and he said, I would say, yeah, I probably would be. But I was like, the space fight, it wasn't long or anything. It wasn't drawn out. I thought that's how you should do it. Like, in the prequels is where it was just so drawn out with some of these things, and then there was like no tension. With that, it wasn't that bad, man. I was like, I don't know, man. I said that wasn't bad. It wasn't even long and drawn out. I said, whatever. But the web track stuff is overall, I think it's still funny. It's still funny what they do. But also just look at the movie. I'm like, man, this movie was good. I liked Rogue One. Like that was done well. Like for you doing that way and having it like the Death Star plans, how they came to be. I think that was well done. Yeah. So that's all I've been watching. So I guess we get into what we're playing. So I'll go ahead since I played the games you played. Well, all right. So I played some more Yakuza. I finished it. I finished Yakuza, the main story. And
nice.
It was an alright ending. It wasn't great, but I am glad. Spoiler alert for Yakuza. Give you time if anybody's playing it. I like that he finds love. He finally finds love there. Because I was wondering, was he going to just be a guy that never be with a woman? Because like, he's going to be that kind of character. Like, he just doesn't love. I was like, that's so boring. But yeah. So I'm happy for that. But yeah, it was an alright ending. It wasn't great. It wasn't the best one. The overall game, I still like Kiwami 1 and 0. 0 is the best. Kiwami 1 is better. But it was fun. It was fun. Also, they got a section here called the Majima Saga, which takes place before the events of this game. I could have been playing it while I was playing this game, because apparently you can put money in that transfers to Kiro or
interesting
something like that. Which I kind of wish I did play, because I was just saying like I'm gonna play this till after I beat it, and I was like, oh man, I should have probably played it. During my play session, but whatever. The Majima Saga takes place before the events of the main game, and I guess you're gonna find out how Majima left the Tojo clan. How he left the clan was doing his own thing, because that's how you beat him. Because he left, but you asked him to come back to help, and he does just help you out. And it's a pretty good story. See, it's the story about him being framed. He's being framed for a murder. Well, first it starts out, spoiler alert, I mean, if you don't want to hear about it, with the clan and his new leader, who he dies at the beginning of the first game, but this is taking place before, so like maybe I don't know how long before, not that long before the events. So they're deciding who can take on the next chair. Like they need somebody to move up a chair in the Yakuza clan. And so they were deciding how to do it. Now I think traditionally they do it just by, I guess, people who like over merits or something like that, you know, what you done. But now they're doing it based on profit. They say, hey, we bring all this money in. The younger, these two new guys, they're arguing, hey, it should be by profit now. This is the new rules. And that's what the leader agreed to. That it should be done by profit, like how much money you bring in. And the two new guys, they brought in the most money. And so one of them got to be it. But then Majima busts in the room. He like comes in with a big barrel of money. A big barrel. And then he was like, hey, like he should take it. Now, you find out he don't really want to be there, but he doesn't want to make it easy for them to get the chair. Because he knows that there some underhanded stuff is probably going on. He just don't know what, but he knows something's going on. So he just wants to fuck up. So he acts all crazy stuff, but he ain't stupid. And so they still didn't give him a chair. They said, I'm going to discuss this later. But then someone framed him for murdering the guy who would have got the chair, who was in competition with. So now they think he killed him. He has to prove himself that, hey, I ain't the murderer.
Right.
So, and his fighting style, like playing, is different than Kuro's.
That's cool.
While Kuro, you have, you can pick up weapons of that nature. You have all these moves you can level up. Majima, it doesn't look like you can level up. It looks like you're at the level you are, and he always has a knife. He always has a knife, and he's faster. He's faster than what Kuro is. So you have a lot of speed, but you have to really dodge because you don't have that much health. So I guess that's to compensate that you can be really fast, but you don't have the health like Kuro, and you can't level it up. So you have to protect yourself. So thankfully I got cheats on, so I don't have to worry about that. So I'm just stab it away. But yeah, it's cool. I mean, like I said, I like the Majima character. He's funny, and it gives a perspective because I haven't played as him since Yakuza 0. So it's good to play him as the mad dog now, as this crazy guy. And there's not a lot of side quests. I wish it was kind of more side quests. And it's actually, the only side quest you have really is fighting these people who want to challenge you because how great a fighter you are. And so you're just going around fighting them. But yeah, but it's still something fun. I mean, hey, it's something extra to the game. Like, it didn't have to be there because, I mean, the game is long enough. And just to have this Majima saga, which I'm curious, was this in the original game? I wonder if this is just something they made for the Kiwami version of the game. Yeah. Because, I mean, that's pretty good. I mean, that's pretty good how they do those games. How they made those games. All right, so what else have I played? I played some Crash Team Racing because you can play a trial version of the game now on the Switch. And I heard that this game is harder than Mario Kart, and I kind of can see that why it is, because even on easy, like Mario Kart on easy is very, very easy. Like you could get first place without doing anything. Really.
Oh yeah, the 50cc stuff is like a breeze.
Yeah, but in Crash, those people, I mean, unless you're really good at the game. If you're really good at the game, I'm sure you could probably get a nice lead, but you can't just hold A or B or whatever it is you pressing to just win the race. Like, you gotta watch out. Those guys will be on your ass. They will go past you, and you have to do the drift speed, where you drift and you get a boost. I mean, Mario Kart does that too. But probably all these games does that. But yeah, because you have to get that down, or you have to get jumps with. If you could get a high jump, you'll get a boost also. Or you luckily get something that can really stop people, some items. Or some of the fruit, because that makes you go faster, kind of like the rings in Mario. It's more challenging than Mario Kart. Because I play some of the adventure mode, and I finished, I think, 2 of the races, or 3, whatever, how many there are. I need to finish one more race to unlock to the next area, but you have to get first place. You can't get second or nothing like that. You have to get first, and I had, it's like, I kept getting second. I played also the regular mode, which is similar to regular Mario Kart, the cup mode or whatever it's called. And I played a little bit of that. And then I also played the battle mode. And I played with the computer, but it was like, man, I couldn't see where the enemies were, or maybe I didn't have enough people playing set when I was playing the computer. Maybe that's why it was taking a long time to find people, or they were so spaced out. So then I played online, and only 3 people was online for me to play against. But they do put in computer people. They put in AIs to take the place of the missing opponents. So I think it was capture the flag. I should have looked at the rules, because I didn't know what flag to capture. I actually didn't know what color I was, because I was holy shit, what color am I? And I was like, oh, fuck it, I'm just going to fuck around. Apparently we won. Because technically it was 2 against 1. I mean, we actually had 2 human players, so luckily I probably had a guy who knew what the hell he was doing, because I sure the hell didn't. So I'm going to play some more, but man, I do like the idea of adventure mode, which I'm surprised Mario has not done yet. Mario Kart, I guess they just feel like, hey, the cup mode is enough.
They can rest on their laurels. Yeah,
because I'm thinking like, yo, you did Diddy Kong. Well, you didn't do it, but still, I mean, it was rare. It's part of you.
It's under your umbrella.
Diddy Kong Racing, and you can't do something similar to Mario where it has like some type of adventure mode or a story mode to it.
Had a whole open world.
Exactly. I'm thinking, why haven't y'all done that? Yeah, that's what I want. I want that for the next Mario Kart. The next Mario Kart, it needs to have an adventure mode, man. I mean, for me personally, it needs to. Or if it don't, I think I'm going to just stick with this one. I'll be okay, because I ain't like to play online a lot anyway. Yeah. So I think I'm fine. I think I'm at the point where I need something like a real strong single player element to keep me coming back. All right, so what else I played? I played some Civ 6. The game you gave me as a Christmas gift. Thank you. I was playing. Well, no, I'm still playing with the what are they? The Chinese version. I don't know. I forgot what they were called, but it's basically some China dynasty. And I was playing on normal. Or actually, no, I wasn't playing on normal. I think I was playing on the one like Prince or something that was high level, because I couldn't tell what was easy or hard. I thought Prince was the easy mode. And then I was like, man, this is kind of hard. Like, I get my butt kicked by these barbarians. Like, they kept attacking my cities. I was like, damn, I'm always under the defensive. I ain't got enough money to be getting warriors. So I started again. Then I know it's like, oh no, Settler is the easy one. And I was like, I think I was in like the middle of the pack. I'm at night, like higher than normal. So I was like, oh man, no wonder I was getting my butt kicked. It's like, I'm not ready for that. So I put it on, I don't think I put it on Settler, maybe on Warlord, I think. I forget. It was one of the easier ones, because I was like, I just want to chill. I don't want to be stressed out trying to keep protecting my city. So yeah, I'm just starting out. I think I got about 2-3 cities, but they're the very beginning stages. I think I build one Wonder, which is like, like the Hanging Gardens of Babylon or something like that. Like I build that. Now you can choose wonders to build. Like, hey, I'll be first one to build the Egyptian pyramid. So that's us,
right?
Or I can that nature, or discover wonders on their own, like natural wonders. If you got you send people
is it
away.
like out in the terrain already, or is it just a different?
Yeah, it's
way
on the
of
terrain.
you?
Yes, you
Cool.
have your scout or whatever, whoever you have walking around. Usually, I put scouts. The scouts can move faster, and they might discover something, and you get bonus points for it. So right now, the only people I met was Cleopatra. I met her. I also met a Roman person. It's not Julius Caesar. It's someone else. I don't remember the name. Honestly, I didn't look at the names. It's not even so much I remember. I didn't care. I didn't care what the names were. I'm like, you're soon to be. Yeah, I'm just looking at you like you're soon to be my cities. That's what you are. You're my future cities. Cause that's what I'm just going to end up being. Cause look, I'm going to try to be diplomatic and try to go the route of like winning by like just getting to the end and going to space first. But I have a feeling I'm going to fall back to my laws and be like, fuck it, I'm just going to take over the world. I'm just going to go my freaking Hitler route and just go ahead and say, yep. You
Maybe
are
with
good.
a touch less genocide?
Huh? Oh,
I mean, still murder, but genocide.
Well, they don't go like
not
not really. But okay. I'm taking over and forcing you to into my kingdom. Like you're going to be.
That's
part
just
of me.
Normal, territory stuff.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and my religion. And I'm forcing you to be my religion.
That's still perfectly fine. That's like that's English stuff now. That's
yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, whatever. It's all white people stuff to me. Yeah, ain't no different. Yeah, ain't no
man. Rude.
Yeah. So, yeah, I've been doing. I usually play that like before I go to sleep. Like I'll probably lay in bed and I'll pop that up and play. What else have I played? I also played some more Donkey Kong Country. Where am I? I'm in the third world, I believe. Yes, I think I'm in the third world. I fought Did I fight the second boss? I don't remember who the second boss was. Who the second boss in that stage? It's the big beaver.
Is it a bee? Where's he at?
It's a bird. No, it was a giant bird, like a vulture.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
the one that spits out the fur balls.
Yes. So yes, I defeated him or her. Gotcha. I don't know what it is, but yeah. And now I'm in the third world. So going to that game. Yep, so fun. Donkey Kong Country is a fun game. And that is it. So I guess getting to what you've been playing, you say Control. You're still playing that. But you got another game up here.
I've also got Mini Motor Racing X. It's the demo. I finally got my Switch powered up because, I've been telling you, like, it's just kind of been sitting there not charged for a while. And that's part of why I hadn't played the other game that we're going to talk about in a little bit. But I had downloaded that previously. I'll routinely just go on and download anything that has a demo that has of any interest to me. And this is like one of those kind of isometric view racers. But what I like about it is you can actually switch views. So you can go into a first person view or a third person view. I actually found the first person view to be pretty good, but it still has like the weird physicsiness of an isometric racer. So it's a lot of fun. It's not something that I'm necessarily going to ever buy because I think, unfortunately, it's one of those games. It's like just basically a port of a phone game, and there's probably like weird microtransaction-y stuff in there. I'm just getting that vibe from the menus and the way everything's set up. Like I can probably find it in the Android store. But I think it's cool. It's a neat little thing just to mess around with. There was that one on the PlayStation, like Tabletop Racer or something that I played quite a bit of when it was a PlayStation Plus game that I thought was really cool. I like those games from time to time. Just a nice little cutesy arcade kind of racer. This one isn't like the tabletop one where you're like a small car in a regular sized world and you're like racing around plates and stuff. But the settings are still nice. There's like a beach area and there's like a garage and then there's just like a normal racetrack kind of thing. So it's cute. But yeah, other than that, I've just been playing some Super Mario Brothers 35 finally, Dominic. And I think it's all right. I don't know that it works in the same fashion that a Tetris 99 does. Or maybe it's just because I'm better at a Super Mario game than I am a Tetris game, so it doesn't feel like there's as much of a challenge for me as, because like the first time I played this game, the first round I came in 6. Now, granted, there's only 35 players as opposed to 99 players in Tetris, but I feel more confident in my Mario playing ability, and therefore maybe I don't think the game is as legitimate because I'm good at it, because I'm not very good at video games, Dominic. So, yeah, I don't know. It's weird. What do you think?
Yeah, you're probably better at it than me, because I mean, I don't know what place I was, because I didn't ever looked at what place I was when I died. I just watched the end of the matches. I don't even know where you really looked at. Well, what did it tell you? What did it tell you? What place you in?
When you die out, when you drop out of it, it shows you on the leaderboard where you are.
Oh, darn! Maybe I hit the A button or something too fast. Yeah, I just went and chose like, hey, I'll spectate. But yeah, I can see that. I can see like, yeah, if you're pretty good at Mario, because this Super Mario Brothers, the first one, only thing different is that you might have more enemies show up because from other people's games, because that's what it does. It transfer what you're doing every time you kill an enemy. It transfer the enemy over to someone else's game, and you can choose who to transfer to, like the person who's leading in coins, the person who's leading, I think like level or whatever. So they'll just transfer the enemies over to them. And so, yeah, it seems simple enough. It seems simple enough. I mean, but that's what makes it fun, because it then comes basically, like who's going to outlast the other person. Because, I mean, that's what it comes down to. You might know the level, but maybe you'll be like, oh crap, I'm stuck on an enemy, or you did a wrong jump, and then the enemy is right there where it don't usually be one. There's a bunch of ghost ones, and you just die or something. But yeah, I mean, I like it. I enjoy it. I can't compare it to Tetris 99. I ain't played Tetris 99 enough, and I don't really understand Tetris. I didn't understand Tetris until Tetris Effect.
Yeah. Maybe
I'll go back to Tetris 99 now, since I understand it, because Tetris it was never a game I understood. I never understood how to play it. I know you're supposed to clear it, but I didn't know how points work, and I never even tried to learn, to be honest with you, before Tetris Effect. It just, because it wasn't my interest. So Tetris 99 wasn't a big deal to me. I think this appeals more to me, this Mario game, something like this.
Yeah,
I kind of want to see more games do this. Like actually, like some platformers. I want to see something like that. Like, hey,
it's a fun twist, definitely.
Yeah, like it doesn't have to be Super Mario World. Maybe it's another Mario game, or it could be a
you could do like a Meat Boy or something.
Game. Huh? Say that again.
You do like a Super Meat Boy or something.
Oh yeah, that. I mean, or something that's actually, unique. If you want to do Mario, like unique Mario level, someone you just you haven't seen any other game or something, and then things just happens. I mean, that's cool. That they done that. But yeah, I mean, this is all right. I mean, I find it stupid that, this is only going to last until what, March for this too. Also, is that when it's supposed to go?
Yeah, the end of March.
Okay. Yeah. So that's unfortunate, because I would want to be like, hey, maybe update it. Not that like, hey, it doesn't go away. We just put new Mario levels. Like, hey, we're doing the lost levels now, or something like that, and then we're doing Mario 3, and then hey, we're doing custom made levels or something we got from Super Mario Maker. We're doing some of the best ones or something like that, and you have to go through. I mean, something. Yeah, I feel like this is something that could keep going. But I liked it. I like what I played. The little bit I played of it, I did enjoy it.
Yeah, I did as well. Yeah, it's a cool concept.
All right, so I guess that is it. So we'll take a quick break, and when we get back, we'll get to the flashback segment.
All right.
And we're back. And now we're flashed back into 2011.
Oh, man.
20 years. Now, I don't have any games for either years, because there was no games of note that came out the first, like this week in January.
Yeah.
Up to the 3rd. Nah, too early. Video games don't come out that early. No really great ones anyway. Maybe some phone games might have came out or something. But
Something
anyway,
on the eShop nowadays.
But it was a new month. And darn, December came out fast, didn't it? Darn, I felt like yesterday I just did the cover story of goddamn December covers.
Yours just keep getting shorter, Dominic.
Yeah, new month. So we do the covers of magazines for that month in that year. So we're starting with 2011. We're going down this list here. Nintendo Power, we're going to start with first, Dan.
Yeah.
And on the front of this cover, you had Mario Sports Mix. Was this the one that was on the 3DS?
I believe so.
Yeah, because it didn't come on the main consoles, right? Nah. There was no Sports Mix. I think it was... I don't remember a Sports Mix for the main console if it did come out.
Yeah, it was all strikers and baseball sluggers and all that, yeah.
So
this one was cool, though, because it had multiple sports, as it would indicate from the title.
And you know what? I did not know they used a coin as a hockey puck.
I did not either. I don't know if I believe that they actually did or if they just put it in this key art.
Yeah. But yeah, you see Dee Dee with the basketball. You see, of course, Princess Peach, the volleyball. Oh, man, she should be wearing like those Speedos and stuff like that they do in Olympics. Come on.
This is indoor volleyball, Dominic. It's not. Yeah.
And Waluigi got hit in the butt by Wario.
Guess they're playing dodgeball?
I guess that's a volleyball.
I mean, it's definitely a volleyball, but like, are they playing dodgeball maybe?
Yeah. You see Bowser with the coin hockey puck. You see Yoshi back there.
Yoshi's getting fucking owned. Bowser's all the way in the front. Yoshi is like fucking 20 yards back.
What else we got here? They also have Monster Tail, Super Mario All-Stars, Lost in Shadow. I guess the Super Mario All-Stars, that was the Wii All-Stars game with all the Super Mario. The old, which is the re-release of Super Mario All-Stars Super Nintendo. They went cheap on us, Daniel. They went cheap on us and charged us $60, $50, or $50 for it. Whatever. Radiant Historia. I think that's one of those RPGs. JRPGs, I want to say. Epic Mickey, Kingdom Hearts Recoded, and The Blob 2, and
Okamiden.
How you pronounce this? Okamiden?
I think it's Okamiden. I think that's the puppy version of Okami that came out on the 3DS.
Oh, yes, Okamiden. Yes, okay, all right, yeah. All right, yes, the puppy version. Oh, darn, I thought that game came out sooner. Earlier for some reason. But yeah, all right. So that was Nintendo Power. All right. So now we're going to go to, because I don't got this tab.
Xbox Magazine, the official.
Wait a minute, I got two of them.
Oh, yeah.
So one of these is a holiday one. Oh, yeah, it's a holiday issue. Okay, I'm not going to talk about that one. I'm going to the 2011 one, and you got the Gears Jr. up here. You got Bulletstorm. The guy lead from Bulletstorm is up here. Yep. So yeah, Bulletstorm is coming out in 2011. So yeah, you're waiting for that, and also Gears has come out later on that year. Mm-hmm. So I believe we get Bulletstorm first. I want to say. Yeah, I was waiting for that game because I was like, hey man, I want to play some. Like the Bulletstorm looks pretty cool. It looks like Gears, and it looks all fun, with all those like. It's like a first-person Gears, and then you do crazy shit. You can kick people into like cactus things, whatever they were, and just,
they had like a point system.
Get them, impale them and shit.
Yeah, that like lasso thing.
Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot about that thing. And then you get it like, just like you said, the point system and things of that nature. So it's like a real arcadey fun. And this is before they put the Duke Nukem in here. This is before all that shit. But
or they ruined everything.
This game's fun. And during that game, for the re-release of that game, it was quiet. It was like big, it was like a little tiny bit big before it came out. But when it came out, that was it. Yep. I hear nothing about that.
Nobody talked about playing it, nothing.
Nothing. They had a big booth at PAX East where we went to.
Yeah, they did. Holy shit.
Like them and what was
Cliffy
what was
B's
what you
one?
call his game? What's his name?
Cliffy B.
Cliffy B. Yeah. What was it? What was the game called?
Lawbreakers. Yeah.
Lawbreakers. Yeah, they had a huge one, and man, yeah, too bad for Lawbreakers.
Yeah.
But okay, what else is on this cover? We got special report. What's next for Halo? Okay, we're gonna find out what's going on with Halo. They're gonna talk about Halo Infinite in 2011, and
It's been delayed so many times, Dominic.
yeah, LA Noire, Rockstar's latest gets away with murder.
Pretty good game, Dominic.
Yeah, it is. Even though it's like, man, a lot of bad stuff, you know, behind closed doors of this making of this game.
Sounds like
it was some horrible shit. Yeah. Also has Gears of War 3. Why it's worth the wait. Also,
It's not. That's why I gotta play Bulletstorm.
35 new games reviewed. Halo on your phone. It's real.
That I want to know what the hell that was.
That was I mean, it's on the consoles now. It's not like that little
the
Halo
Spartan Assault.
Spartans, yeah, assault, yeah.
I gotta
say
it wasn't on my phone because it was only on Windows phones. Nobody had a Windows phone.
Yeah, Windows phones were big, Daniel. They were big because that one dude
large,
I know
yes.
had one. That one dude I knew had one. He said, "I'm going to be in the Windows ecosystem." That was short lived. That was very short lived. What is this? Hot in 2011. Our must-have games of the new year. And this is hint Bulletstorm blows us away. So maybe that's what it is.
That's one of them for sure.
All right. So what else we got here, Dan? I'm going to go to PC Gamer.
All right.
Is that good? Can I go to that?
Yeah. Which one?
Oh, I have two of these too. I got January. No, the other one. Yes, because some of these covers, they had holiday here. And I didn't know they did 13 magazines that year. I didn't know that was a thing. I mean, I knew it was a thing, but I didn't suspect it with them.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't remember it being a thing. Exactly. So, but whatever. So we're going to PC Gamer 2011. They got Diablo 3 on the front. To hell and back with Diablo 3. Man. And now we're waiting for Diablo 4. And also it's the world's #1 PC games magazine.
Thank you. Right, thank you. Put some respect on their name.
And there's something on page 45. I make zombie bears happen. What game was that?
I would guess Diablo 3 still. Are there zombie bears in Diablo 3?
I don't remember. I mean, I don't remember. I fought a lot of monsters. That's all.
Whoa! There's some things on this cover that I can't wait till we address.
Hands on with the sexy knife throwing demon hunter. Which one is that one?
I guess the demon hunter. Yeah, I mean, I think that's Diablo.
Oh, for also. Diablo 3. Oh, yeah. Okay. I'm thinking talk about another game. All right. Yeah, I know her. Also, it says, guess what scored 98%?
Oh, was it also Diablo 3?
What game was that?
It says reviews. Well, it says, okay, so
what the hell?
Reviews
The
Lego.
Sims get slutty.
That's the one I want to talk about. What the fuck?
Oh, okay. The Sims get slutty. Okay. Oh, what? Oh, yeah, I guess when they doing it and they blur it out, I guess. I don't know.
I guess.
Also, StarCraft 2 Live. Okay. Shell Shocker. Why Red Orchestra 2 will beat Call of Duty Black Ops. Yeah, why did it? I don't remember Red Orchestra 2.
I don't either.
What was that? Like, is that Soviet Union kind of?
I think so, yeah.
First person shooter? Well, I can say this.
I don't remember it being very good, though.
It didn't. It beat it out. Reviews, Lego Universe, Medal of Honor, Star Wars The Force Unleashed 2, and more. All right, I'm going to the next one. I'm going to do Edge Magazine. This is simple. This is just Uncharted 3.
Yeah.
Drake's Deception on the front. Naughty Dog pushes PS3 to its limits with 2011's most explosive adventure. And the Edge Awards, and I think we said some of the awards featuring the best games, studios, and tech of the year. I don't know, I forgot who they gave it to, Mass Effect or Red Dead. It was one of them. Be mad if it was like Mario Galaxy or something. All right. I'm gonna go to. Did I miss anything? I ain't miss anything on that cover, right? I think I said everything.
No, yeah. It's just that.
We'll go to Electronic Gaming Monthly 2011. And on that front is Deus Ex Human Revolution. And I was really anticipating this game.
Mm-hmm.
Because that trailer, even though it was no gameplay, but it was a nice trailer. It was nice music. Got me pumped. And I was like, hey, I never really played Deus Ex game. So I guess this will be the one I do. And hey, I did play it. I did like it. I enjoyed it. And it does have that like cyberpunkish kind of vibe thing, you know. And it kind of reminded me of like RoboCop because it was in Detroit. That's all. That's the only reason. But other than that, it was an alright game. Also, what they got up here? 2011 preview issue. Over 35 reviews inside. 10 things you didn't know about Call of Duty. What's that? Cliff Blazinski, the EGM interview.
Heck yeah.
Oh, he's going to talk about Lawbreakers. Talk about Lawbreakers in
Yeah.
2011. Next gen hardware. Where is it?
Good question.
Where is it? It's here. It's here, Daniel. Social gaming. Redefining development. Oh. Exclusive. Go inside the world of Deus Ex Evolution. Also, it says you get a free code inside.
There you go.
Get 4 issues of EGM's weekly magazine. Okay, people, you get that.
And it's got
Also,
The Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword. My favorite Zelda game.
Yeah. Yeah, your favorite one. Gears of War 3, Marvel vs. Capcom 3, Batman Arkham City, The Last Guardian. Oh, The Last Guardian.
That's
oh,
ridiculous.
Bit Trip Flux. Dead Space 2 and The Witness. The Witness? When did The Witness end up coming out?
It feels a lot more recent than that, but
Yeah,
sure.
exactly.
I mean, it did take forever it's just Jonathan Blow working on it, Dominic.
Yeah. All right, so the next magazine I'm going to, Dan, is PlayStation. The
It was
official
2016 when it came.
PlayStation.
5 years
20
later.
what?
2016.
2016. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's later. But we begin where people were waiting for it. PlayStation, the official magazine. We got on the cover, Mortal Kombat kicks off the hugest games of 2011. You got Scorpio versus Kratos. And that was exclusive to the PlayStation 3. They got Kratos. Xbox, I don't think they got anybody exclusive.
Yeah, no, I don't think they did get anybody. Because they
I don't think
also
they
had
did,
like
yeah.
an exclusive 3D mode on the PlayStation. That was when 3D was a big thing on televisions. Like Uncharted had a 3D mode and stuff.
Assassin's Creed.
Yeah.
That's why I play at your house was Assassin's Creed. Which one was that?
Which one was that? It was
Was that a Brotherhood or something?
I think it might have been Revelations
Or three?
Yeah, I can't remember.
I don't know. Yeah.
3, yeah, maybe 3.
I mean, that was interesting. It was interesting.
Yeah, it's a shame that stuff kind of really went nowhere.
Is it a shame, Daniel?
I don't know.
I don't think it's a shame. You got your 3D now. You got your real 3D. You got your VR.
It would be pretty cool if they could like recreate or emulate those 3D games and move. Like I think people do that is like rip 3D Blu-rays and watch them in VR headsets. I think that would be pretty cool. I wonder if you could do that with games too.
All right, what else we got here? We got Vroom, GT5, Gran Turismo 5, all 1,031 cars.
That is too many cars.
See, as the young kid in me, I was happy when they said, "Oh my God, they're going to have like 200 cars." Then they said like 500. I said 500, and I only drive about 20
Exactly.
of them. So you having 1,031 cars. I know it's like, hey, that means you got choices. But a lot of those cars ain't worth shit.
No.
Like,
Well, I think what
you don't want to drive
Dominic,
them.
is you got to have your top cars. You got to have your Ferraris and Lamborghinis and like the dream cars. But then you have to have what I do is drive the car that I own. So you got to do that for 1,000 different people. So really, it's 1,000 really shitty cars and then 31 really nice cars.
Yeah. All right, so Twisted Metal is also in here. Crisis 2, Deus Ex, Metal Gear Solid, Killzone 3, The Last Guardian, Batman Arkham City, Rage. Yeah, I was really waiting for Rage also.
Yeah.
And that became somewhat the disappointment. It's just an okay game. It wasn't a great game. LA Noire and Child of Eden. All right. So what else we got here? I'm going to go to Game Informer. And what do I have here? We have Lara Croft on the front.
Beautiful
nice cover
render.
Lara Croft.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes, this is the Tomb Raider game, the latest remake of it. And I mean, this looked good. Like I was like, oh yes, some people comparing it to like Uncharted, things of that nature, but it was different from Uncharted. It wasn't a lot of shooting compared to like Uncharted.
I think it was more adventurous. Experience.
Yeah, exactly. It was different. But I think Uncharted was more action. It was more action than this type of game. And this is more about crafting and stuff and that nature. You know, you craft materials. Yeah. So they did distinguish itself. This wasn't just like, oh, Uncharted is like the new Tomb Raider. It's like, oh, I guess we're just going to have to be like Uncharted. No, they did distinguish themselves. Also, but then there was a controversy with this. I remember this because you said something like, who pissed in this guy's Cheerios? I think it was Vinny on Giant Bomb. Because he was like, he was angry about how
she sounded.
Just like some other people were, how she was getting abused.
Yeah. In
the trailers. And I was very confused by it because I was like, not by the trailer, but by people's emotions over it.
It was
like how the reactions.
Sexualized violence, Dominic. That's why. Because she'd be like, ooh.
It wasn't for me. That just tells me about you because I got nothing sexual out of that.
I mean, that spike just coming through her jaw. I mean, it's just impressive.
People were like, "Oh man, why should I get beat up?" It's like, what? It's like, I mean, I guess you gotta know the story behind it. I don't know what the problem is. It wasn't an issue, and it wasn't an issue for me. I mean, I don't know what the whole deal with that was. But yeah, that was like a big thing. But hey, after the game came out, man, people loved it. People liked it. People really enjoyed the game.
Definitely.
All right. Next cover I got is PC. Oh yeah, wait a minute. Oh, this is the Holiday Edition PC Gamer. Yeah, we're not gonna do that. All right. Is that it? Did I miss something?
Nope. That's it for 2011.
2011. All right then. So now we're going back 20 years to the year 2001. 2001. And on this one, we're going to start with PC Gamer. And PC Gamer, it was it's like the 6th annual Ultimate Strategy and Tips Guide. I guess it really had nothing to say. I guess it is doing the strategy and tips or whatever.
Exactly.
It's got like 392 cheats. Well, I do like that. I like cheats, codes, and things of that nature. Tips are good, but I like the cheats because then I don't need your tips. I can just say, hey, I'm just going to beat the game. Oh, they got Crimson Skies up here. Man, we should do another Crimson Skies with Microsoft Simulator. It'd be a Crimson Skies like DLC or something. But they don't want to have you shooting guns because then people are going to put it down. You can start shooting buildings and bombing buildings and stuff. Baldur's Gate 2, Command and Conquer Red Alert 2, Metal Gear Solid. Oh, Metal Gear Solid's on the PC, playing on the PC. Yeah, that's right. The first one was on the PC. Mm-hmm. Firearms. There was a game. Yep, there was a game called Firearms. They did not even they did not creative with the titles. Rune. And world exclusive Empire Earth from the creators of Age of Empires. And special report, $50 a game. We tell you who gets what. Oh man.
Break it down for me, PC Gamer.
They were saying how the games were going up $50. Like, that was the thing, because the PlayStation, that was the start. Games were getting $50. That was a big deal, man. Now look where we are, Daniel.
Yep.
$70.
$70.
And people are outraged, while some people are saying it should be higher, probably. that, hey,
Those people are stupid.
games
wrong.
should have been going up.
And you should pay the video game companies to stream their property, Dominic. Ha ha.
Yeah, exactly. You should profit off of them. These poor video game companies. All right. So what we got here, Dan? I'm going to next gen. We'll do next gen next.
All right.
And it's look like it's ladies' night.
Yeah, it is.
It's lady night on Next Gen magazine because you got all these female characters from games. I know that's Metroid. That's Miss Metroid.
Miss Metroid. Yes, that is.
It's like the same.
A weird-looking Samus.
Samus. I call him Samus. I don't give a fuck. I mean, or her. You got Space Channel 5 girl. You got that woman who I do not know who she is.
She's from something, probably.
And is that from StarCraft? Or is that... I was going to say Perfect Dark, but I don't know if that's Joanna Dark or not.
It's not letting me zoom in close enough to read this little writing. I don't know. Yeah, I can't read this writing that's on. Because it shows in the bottom corner by the barcode who the women are.
Oh, it's all fuzzy.
Yeah.
It says Microsoft's... what did it say?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I can't read it.
I don't know who that is.
Nintendo's Samus Aran, Microsoft's Raven, and Sony's Rhine or something. I can't
yeah,
tell.
and I don't know what that game is either for that woman in the front.
Yeah.
But anyway, it said, forget the tech specs, got talent? We named the best developers and the hottest games for PlayStation 2, Dreamcast, GameCube, and Xbox. Man, and the GameCube and Xbox not even out yet. Also,
they were next gen, Dominic. They knew.
Oh, yeah, they're ready. Plus, Sonic Adventure 2, Dropship, and DNA. Also, 40 game review blowout, NFL Game Day 2001, Red Alert 2, DOA 2, Hardcore, Midnight Club, Time Splitters, Jet Grind Radio, Metropolis Street Racer. Oh, you got Street Racer Metropolis, and you got to outrun Superman. He's going to take you to jail because you're street racing. Spyro 3, and 32 more titles. Oh, and also Unreal Tournament PS2 versus Quake 3 Dreamcast. Who wins, Daniel? Who wins? Maybe Dreamcast, because they actually go online.
We all win. The consumer wins.
Let's say, well, Dreamcast wins because they go online. Unreal Tournament for PS2 can't go online. All right. So what I got here next, I'm going to click this. PlayStation Magazine, the unofficial one. This is the underground.
That's the much better one.
All right. So on this one, it's a hand drawing. Okay, I accidentally clicked with the next month. I spoiled myself, Daniel. I saw what's on next month.
It's fine. I somehow ended up in the mobile version, which is giving me an even tinier picture of this thing. Good
God. But why is... Oh, because of my Zoom, it carried over to the next screen and it fucked things up. All right. So... the unofficial PlayStation Magazine it is the number one source for PS2 and PlayStation people.
Of course it is.
That's what it says up here.
That's what they want you to believe.
And it's 100% independent. They have because they always have these artists. I want to know who the artists are. Like, I guess did it get outsourced people or did it get somebody?
I'm sure
did
they
have people
did. Because it always looks like the stuff from like the Wildcats guy. I can't remember who did that. But like that era of comic books.
Well, you know what? There is a name right here. Now that I see it, it says
something Adams.
Arthur, is it? Yeah, Adams. Yeah, is that Arthur?
I can't.
Arthur
see.
Adams. But it is drawing of Metal Gear Solid Snake. It has the Onimusha guy. Samurai Man, I'm going to call him. They also got
I think his
the
name's
guy
Onimusha.
from Soul Weaver.
Is that,
I'll
not
call
Kane,
him
right?
Little Weaver. No, Kane is the other guy.
One.
I want to say
that is the
his
Soul
name
Reaver
is
himself.
Yeah, Mr. Soul Weaver. And they got the guy from Dark Cloud. Let's call him Little Link. And you got the guy for the bouncer. You call him Sora. You saw him grown up Sora.
I was going to call him Squall.
Kingdom Hearts. They all look the same.
Yes,
Come
they
on. Do. It's the PlayStation Preview 2001. Revealed the games that will rule the new year. The top creators give the inside scoop on what lies ahead. New screens and info for Metal Gear Solid 2, The Bouncer, Onimusha Warlords, Twisted Metal Black. Breaking news, PS2, the latest on the new Tomb Raider game, and Tenchu 3, plus much more. The latest Tomb Raider game, I'm trying to think, what was the first Tomb Raider? Oh, that was Angel of Darkness?
I think so. I think I remember us talking about this last time, and I think that's the next one up.
Also, hot PS1 games. You have to start calling the PS1 because of the little PlayStation Mini PS1. You got Tomb Raider Chronicles, Driver 2, Breath of Fire 4. Oh, I forgot to mention, I played Breath of Fire on the Super Nintendo one. I don't know, was that 2 or 1? Maybe it was 1 on the Nintendo Switch. And that game, I think you're meant to die. Because it seems like it sends you back to like a save point, but you still have your stats. So you get stronger. Because I was thinking like, I gotta start over again? So this is bullshit. But it looks like I'm still like level 5. And I was like going in level 1. So I think it's meant to be that way. Because I was thinking like, I don't have enough potions to heal. It's like, I'm going to die. How do you beat this? And I think it's meant to be that way. That you're supposed to just level yourself up and you get stronger as you go back to the dungeon and do it. I said, okay, all right. I can get down with that because I'm not pressed for time and I'm just playing a little bit at a time, and I can just save it anyway, anywhere and anything. I can do that now. I prefer not to, but I can do it. All right. Also, they had NBA Live 2001, one of the worst NBA Lives. All right. Oh, it says Capcom Shocker, a new type of horror on PS2, Devil May Cry. See, and you could have found out it's not a horror game. Devil May Cry is not a horror game. And I think maybe people must have thought that because it was initially going to be Resident Evil 4. Because I thought that too. I was like, oh, I don't know if, even though it looks like he's shooting guns and stuff, but I can't be playing a horror game. Nothing scary happened in this game. All right, so let me go to the next one. And where am I, Dan? I'm going to go to Game Informer. And what we got on the front? We got Sweet Tooth, or I think I was talking to somebody and I actually call him Sweet Mouth, but I was like, oh crap! But you got the Sweet Tooth machine, his car, I guess, like the front of his car, and like talk about Twisted Metal Black, one of my favorite Twisted Metals. It's my favorite Twisted Metal. I think that this is my favorite Twisted Metal. I like this. I played 1, 2, and I don't know which one I played, 3 or 4. I played one of them. But Black is my favorite one. I played the one that came on PS3. I didn't like that one. But Black is my favorite one. Sweet Tooth and Co. are back in Black. All right, so what else we got? We got the Sultan of the Silver Ball. Game Informer uncovers the man who has dedicated his life to the preservation of video game history. Oh, okay. Behind the scenes of the Final Fantasy movie. Yeah, it sucked. It basically sucked. Zelda, Majora's Mask strategy. Also, Devil May Cry, first look at Capcom's amazing new PS2 survival game. See, people was thinking this was a survival game. It's not a survival game.
Yeah.
It's not a survival game. Sega retaliates. Massive Dreamcast previews of the Flogan Brothers. The Flogan Brothers. Oh, yeah, that's a comedy game.
The Flogan Boygans.
Phantasy Star Online. Soul Reaver 2, and many more. Man, just in a few weeks, people will find out that they're about to discontinue on the Dreamcast. And they're going third party. They don't know now. Like, as of right now, nobody knows. What's next for PS2? The latest on Metal Gear Solid? Clive Baker's Undying. Oh yeah, I remember that. I remember Clive Baker's. I don't know who that is though. Is he a game developer? He's like a writer or something. What is he?
I think he's a writer.
Yeah. Bouncer, that Squaresoft game. At the time, they were Squaresoft before Square Enix. Tomb Raider and Oni for PlayStation 2. I want Oni. What is that Oni Mushu? That's stand for, or there was a game called just Oni.
Oh, Oni was the Bungie game, wasn't it?
Holy shit! Oni is the third party game. Yeah,
the anime one.
That is the anime. Yep. Good God, I forgot about this game.
I remember being very excited about that game, and then being less so once people started talking about how it wasn't very good.
Is she sexy? Look at that sexy hairstyle. This is Oni. I totally forgot about that game. Wow. All right. So where are we going to now? We are going to Electronic Game Monthly, and they got Sweet Breath. Sweet Breath is on the front.
A much better looking one. that one just, I don't know what the hell was going on with the other one.
This Twisted Metal Black, Sweet Tooth Strikes Back on PlayStation 2. This definitely is a better cover than a Game Informer one, but I don't know why they chose that one. Like,
that's all they gave them.
I guess to say, hey, we got the somewhat graphics
some
of the PlayStation 2. Yeah, it looked pretty bad. Review: Driver 2, Pokemon Gold and Silver, Jet Grind Radio, Quake 3 on Sega Net, holiday hit or just a turkey. It's gonna be a turkey. Xbox, the system you didn't know you really wanted. Ooh. And 74 reviews, the most ever, Daniel, in this magazine.
I'm pretty sure there was like a magazine at the end of last year that was like 103 or something.
But it was Electronic Gaming Monthly though. This is their most reviews.
That's true. Okay.
Uh-oh, she's upset about something.
She's upset that there aren't more reviews.
All right. So we're going to go to the PlayStation official magazine 2001. And what we have here is Gran Turismo 3, Behind the Wheel, the hottest ride on PS2. I was really waiting for this game.
Yeah.
And it looks, oh my God, at the time, it looks so real. I mean, I was like, oh my God, these are real cars. They're literally driving real cars in a video game. And it looks so good. and then I remember the intro music to that game. It was Lenny Kravitz singing a song.
Some song.
I mean, I liked it.
Yeah.
And I didn't know who Lenny Kravitz was at the time. I didn't hear about him until, I'm going to be honest with you. I did not know who Lenny Kravitz was until the iPhone commercial. I mean, the iPod commercial when he did Running, whatever. Mm-hmm. And then I was like, oh, I have heard his songs before. I heard it on Gran Turismo 3. All right, so you had Tricks and Strategies for PlayStation 1 and PS2, Tekken Tag, Final Fantasy 9, and Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2. You got the Holidays Buying Guide. I don't know why I guess their January issue. Yeah, it comes out in December, so I guess. But still, the Holiday Buying Guide should have came out in November. I mean, the December issue. It came out in November. Like, you kind of get in last minute now. PS2 Launch Madness, 500,000 in 24 hours. Woo! They show 500,000 systems in 24 hours, Daniel. Hot new previews: Twisted Metal Black, NBA Live 2001, Onimusha, Warlords, MDK2, Armageddon. Oh yeah, MDK. I never played that game, and I think we talked about it before. It's like I always find it weird. I thought it was some guy with the weird. I didn't know that was like a helmet or that was his head.
Exactly. I just thought it was like a weird alien thing. Yeah.
Yeah, me too. Evil Dead, Hail to the King, baby. I had the baby part. Star Trek Voyager, Elite Force, and Klonoa 2. Klonoa, you know what?
That was a game
I never played. I never played it. I thought they looked cheesy or something. I just didn't care about games like that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it did. But Is it a baby game?
I don't think it played like a baby game. I think it was still a lot of fun. Granted, I was more of a baby at the time, but it wasn't a baby.
No, you weren't.
I said more of a baby, Dominic. More of a baby.
Look, you know what? Now I'm looking back. It's like I wish I would have tried that game out, but I can't try it out. I had to buy it. I wasn't going to tell my parents to spend money on this game when there's other games to buy. All right.
I think I played a lot of the game. I think there was a Game Boy Advance one or something like that I borrowed, if you know what I mean.
Oh, okay. I mean, you stole it. You stole it from the store, right?
I don't know what you're talking about, Dominic. The mom and pop store had it coming.
Oh, look at this. On the set with Angelina, Tomb Raider movie report. Oh, man.
Hell yeah.
Also exclusive on the demo disc. You got Driver 2, Spider-Man, 102 Dalmatians. Oh, yeah. That was a great video game. Army Men Airstrike 2. Army Men, baby. Oh, yeah, they had airstrikes too. They had Army Men everything, man. Probably Army Men tanks.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
God, they'd bring Army Men back there. It'd be a slew of Army Men games coming out. They gotta make up for lost time.
We can revitalize it, Dominic. We can redo it.
The Grinch. Video preview of Medal of Honor Underground. What else we got here? Let me see here. It's just another. Oh, that's the same one because long ass eBay. Fucking shit. All right. Game Informer. So we got this is not the one I wanted. Not this one. I need to go back.
Talk about some shitty covers. Actually.
No. Yes, I talked about that yet.
Okay.
Oh wait a minute. Did I do is that the last cover? Is that the last cover?
I think the last one is the official PlayStation one. Oh no, you just did that one. I'm sorry.
Okay,
yeah,
so I'm just saying, let's make sure I did everything before I get to this cover, I get to this one, the one I did. Okay, so this is going back, we finished in 2001. So we're going back 25 years now, because I wanted to look at this. And this was a Game Informer of January 1996. And it has a big, ugly face of Mario, but in his eyes is the Nintendo Ultra 64. It was still calling the Ultra. But you know what? I kind of wish they would have stuck with Ultra.
It's a pretty good name.
Ultra 64. The Ultra 64. Like, you don't have to keep saying
Super
Nintendo.
To Ultra.
Like I don't have to keep saying Nintendo. I can just say, like, the system's name. Like, I don't constantly say Sony PlayStation 5. I say PlayStation 5. Yeah. I don't say Microsoft Xbox all the time.
Come on. Xbox. You just called it the 64. That's what cool kids did.
Whatever. Yeah, 64. No. It was a lie. The 64 was a lie. Anyway, it
wasn't really 64 bits.
But I want to just call 64. I mean, this is the number. I want to call the Ultra. The Ultra 64.
Be pretty good. Yeah.
I like that.
Ultra.
That's me personally. Man, you don't have to like it. All right.
Good. I don't.
Oh, fine. The most anticipated unit of the decade is unveiled. The most anticipated.
Mm-hmm. Fuck the PlayStation, Dominic.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, I was. This is my first of that for that generation. This is the first one I got.
Yeah.
And then I quickly went over to PlayStation when I realized I was going to get a whole lot of games on that system because it cost too much.
Exactly.
And then they didn't have Final Fantasy on in the Nintendo 64.
Nintendo,
what they call? Yeah. People went away from it. They say, "Oh, you're not CDs, so we're not going to do you." Y'all don't do music doesn't come very well to the cartridge. No. All right. Zero Divide. Is it just another PlayStation fighter? I don't know what that is.
I'm going to say yes. Yes, it is just another PlayStation fighter because I have no idea what it is.
Also, plus NHL Face Off, Doom, Virtual Cop, Sega Rally, and NBA In the Zone. Oh, yeah, I remember In the Zone.
What was In the Zone? I don't remember that one.
It's an NBA game. I forgot the company that did it. Let me look it up.
In the Zone.
It was on. That's his company.
Konami.
I seen it before. Shaq.
Yeah.
Was that not Shaq? No, not Shaq. Hornets guy. Larry Johnson.
Oh, is that
Grandmama?
Where's that?
I think that's Is that Grandma or that's Glenn Rice? I can't see it. It's too fucking small.
Glenn Rice's. Yeah.
I think it's Glenn Rice. Okay, it was too small.
Yeah,
okay,
Glenn
now
Rice is on 99.
It's 41. 41, yeah.
Who is this one?
Glenn Rice was on
All of them?
during. I guess. Yeah, I was about to say, like, he must got a deal because he went
was
to the Lakers
Kobe
and
before Kobe.
He was still there. He was still there. Yeah,
64 games. Before they had courtyard. Courtside. Courtyard.
What's the company? Konami?
I think it's Konami, yeah.
Good God, Konami was doing basketball games, people. They were doing NBA games. God, this is people. Abe was getting their hand in the cookie jar when they like the sports games, man.
Yeah.
All right, and yeah, and I think that is it. Oh, my fault. It said learn the art of Virtual Fighter 2. Oh, that too. But yeah, that Mario. I mean, it looks crappy, but actually, I would have been really intrigued by it because I'll be like, oh, Mario, I never seen Mario like this before.
He's in 3D.
Exactly. He's in fucking 3D. Like, that's so fucking amazing to me. It's like, I never seen Mario like this.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that is it for the flashback segment. And we're back. Now we get to the gaming news. So what we got, Dan?
All right, Dominic, it's 2021, and we're going to start this year off with some potential good news / mostly rumors, but could be a sign of hopefully promising things to come for 2021.
Okay.
The sequel. Ubisoft, their Ubisoft Plus subscription model, where you can play their games much like a Game Pass for a monthly fee, is rumored to be coming to Game Pass in the same way that an EA Access is. I think this would be a game changer, Dominic. I mean, Game Pass is already a game changer in a lot of ways, but having them have EA and also Ubisoft in addition to their own first-party games, I think that's kind of game, set, match in a lot of ways. Obviously, it's not going to shut Sony down, but I think it would then make Sony push them a little further into maybe a similar direction and possibly setting up similar deals on their console with Ubisoft and EA.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe it'll push Sony to start doing their own version of subscription service. Even though, I mean, you could say like PS Now is, but that is nowhere near as good as, well, yeah, like Game Pass. It's not as good as Game Pass. That means they would have to do something that's a whole lot better than that. Where, because like, you can argue, hey, but Sony has these better exclusives, so maybe they don't want to risk putting them out. Maybe they don't want them to be on PlayStation Now or whatever rebranding they want to do if they want to rebrand it. Even though I think we talked about this. PlayStation Now, I mean, why not? Just make it better. Mm-hmm. But maybe they don't want to put them out there because they'll lose some sales. But I don't know what the numbers are, because right now the guy, let's see, the CEO or the I forgot who they talked to. He said that the money it wasn't viable to do that, like to put out their first party games out on PS Now like day and date. That's what he told like somebody who interviewed
Not if
him.
we want to make all the money, Dominic. Ha ha ha.
That's what I'm saying. Like I don't know. I mean, because I don't know the financials. Like, is it that they will lose? Are they really going to lose money? Like, how much money will they lose by doing that? Is it like not worth the risk of doing that, or is he just talking? I mean, he's saying that, but maybe it's not a big risk. I don't know. So. But we'll see. I mean, if this gets more people to come over to Microsoft's services, they're gonna have to make a change. But I guess we have to wait and see if that happens. If this even does that. If this really pushes more subscriptions.
Yeah, and that's what I wonder is if something like this happens. And then Project X Cloud, game streaming with Game Pass, whatever you want to call it, if that stuff starts to really roll out there, are we going to see people actually buying Xbox consoles for this stuff? Or are we just going to see them signing up for this pass and for Game Pass and play it wherever, whatever device they have available. I mean, there are rumors that there are going to be TVs coming out this year with Xbox streaming stuff built in. Could that be something that's so viable for them that it doesn't even matter that they're making a console necessarily, and then next generation they don't make a console and, you know, just make their game streaming stuff available wherever, and they're making more money off of their services than Sony is making hardware and software and stuff, you know? Because you kind of see that with Microsoft now, is like all their Office stuff is tied into a bundle. Same with like Adobe, all their stuff is.
Yeah, what is it, like 365 or something like that?
Yeah, Office 365 stuff. Yeah, that's all subscription based now. So I'd be interested.
And I wonder, with the TV, I mean, it's funny how Sony was doing this early. You know, they had a PlayStation TV. They started it, but I guess they didn't execute it well.
Yeah.
It just wasn't really executed well.
I mean, part of it, I think it was just, you know, they came in at the wrong time. Like that stuff was still very rough around that time, and they didn't really even explore the streaming stuff so much with the PlayStation
but
TV.
It wasn't. See, that's the thing. I mean, I was thinking about saying that. Like, was it timing? But I don't know. I don't feel like it was really explained very well or shown off or really sold very well. Like just selling us on it. Like selling people on doing this.
I agree with you there. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Like that's what I feel like. It's like not so much that maybe, I mean, I don't know how much it was like how well it was like people actually using it, but I just know from just them selling us on it, I wasn't like, I thought the idea was like, oh, that sounds all right, but I'll wait and see. I don't know, just the way Xbox did it is continuing to do it, selling their streaming service and things of that nature. It seems to be working well for them and working a lot better. Because now that I think about it, like Sony was initially doing this, they were kind of into it, but they kind of backed off of it.
Yeah, because it's like I was telling you when we were talking about the PlayStation TV the other week, is like that's what I was kind of expecting the Xbox Series S to be. Is like, here's this $100 box, basically the Roku for video games, right? Is like, exactly. Here's a cheap thing where you can stream your thing. And now it sounds like maybe they're smarter than me, and they're saying, hey, instead of doing that, why not just open it up to Roku, and all of a sudden your Roku 4K stick can play video games. You know, you just get an Xbox controller and it wirelessly connects over Bluetooth or whatever's in a Roku. I don't know. Maybe you have to plug it in USB, but you know, and eliminate the need for them to actually do that kind of hardware, even on a low end. Just outsource it to other people.
Damn, this is going to be interesting. It's actually good for a budget guy like me.
Exactly.
I know that.
Yeah. I mean, the idea that, you know, I could have played Assassin's Creed Valhalla even if I didn't spend a whole lot of time with it this year, that and Watch Dogs and Immortals, like, just get a taste of it for the price that I'm already paying for Game Pass. Like, that sounds cool as hell.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it does. It does. Yeah, I mean, I'm very excited for this. If this happens, like, yes, I can save money on playing some of these games that I want to try out, but you know, pricing, and then these games have microtransactions and stuff that, hey, it's easy for me to get into it now. Right. So I'm not paying for a base game, you know, and dealing with all that crap some of these games have. At least it's more justified because it's like it's somewhat free, you know? It's actually free because a lot of these games are being made that are, hey, they're really like free to play, but they saying, but it's big enough that, nah, you should still pay for the game. But it's like you still got the same mechanics in there. You got some things that you making me pay extra for a better game. And hey, if I'm not paying for it, maybe I might be more inclined to pay a little extra. Or I say, hey, I'm not really paying for the game, so maybe I'll put $20 more to have a better experience I mean, it sucks. It's still awful, but it's better than me paying $60 or $70 and putting $20 extra towards that. Changing to a game to be like $100+ because I want to have a bad experience. That's the only way to do it. And getting you to my season passes, that'll be easy to do now. Because some of these season passes be costing just as much as the base game or close to it. $50. So
and then they have you locked into the contract even longer because it's like, well, I bought content for this game. If I don't keep paying for Game Pass, I'm going to lose access to that. So then I'm either going to buy the game or I'm going to continue using your service.
Yeah. I mean, which it's not really a bad thing to keep using service because you're still playing other games. No. And the thing is, even if I buy the game and I bought all that DLC, I'm not going to play that game forever. I'm still going to stop at some point. So either way, I'm still spending that money. It's just going to be less than it's less than what you would have spent if you did buy the game and bought that DLC also. But I think, do I think Sony should do something? Maybe. I mean, I have to say that the subscriptions really go off of Microsoft and it's really doing well for them. Yeah, definitely. But if it's stagnant, maybe they don't have to. I mean, I don't know because Microsoft, they're not really give us numbers. I mean, there's no NPDs or something to really go by or any of this stuff. So we don't know what's going on here. But so I don't know what Sony should do. But but these games that Sony have are generally single player. So there is a difference. Like playing multiplayer games and having it free, well, somewhat free because you're paying for the service. It's a lot easier to deal with. Like I like that idea because it's multiplayer. I can play what I want to play, and it's a different type of service. Single player game, I don't. If it's a great game, I kind of don't mind paying the full price for it. I think it's all right. Like a game like Last of Us or Ghost of Tsushima, I think that's money worth it. It's money. God of War, money worth it. Spider-Man, that is money worth it. So I can see you just have a different idea of that game. But damn, if you're talking about like, hey, those games were free for a service, like for PlayStation, like if PlayStation had a deal like Game Pass for PS5, I would definitely be like, PS5 is the system to get. Right. That could be hands down. It'll be no question. Even Xbox had their own Game Pass. It's like, well, PS5 got these games, man. Yeah. Like,
they have the service plus the actual games, which unfortunately Xbox doesn't really have right now.
It will be hands down PS5. That's why I wasn't hand down PS5. Like if there was no such thing as these services, it'll be hands down PS5 all the way. Xbox only keep me on the cusp because of Game Pass. Like my friends, like it'll be easy for us to just move over. It ain't like we playing a ton of exclusives on Xbox. Like the only game we play is Gears, and that's that's kind of old. I mean, we can stop. The only thing keeping us there is Game Pass. That's what's keeping us now. So we'll see. We'll see how that goes. But I think I'm kind of excited for this.
Absolutely.
All right. So what's other news we got before we get into our big game review? Review of the year. I'm sorry. our year-end review. Go ahead.
So we also got some more bad news for CD Projekt Red. It sounds like, despite the and as we do the year in review, I'm sure we'll have some to talk about over that too. Apparently there are some investors that, despite the fact that this game, CD Projekt Red, Cyberpunk 2077, made them quite a bit of money. It's made its money back already for production. Sounds like some of them are not happy to the point where there's now a class action lawsuit started by the Ronson law firm in New York, who is a group of investors in CD Projekt Red. And in this class action lawsuit, it alleges that CD Projekt Red has failed to disclose Cyberpunk 2077 was virtually unplayable on the last generation Xbox and PlayStation. as well as a result, Sony would remove Cyberpunk 2077 from PlayStation stores, and Sony and Microsoft and CD Projekt Red would be forced to offer full refunds for the game. Consequently, CD Projekt Red would suffer retributional and punion. I don't know what that is. That's not the word, but it should be. Punitive damage. And as a result, the defendants' statements about the business operations and prospects were materially false and misleading. So some really bad stuff, Dominic. What do you think? Do they deserve this?
This is just a thing. It's sort of justified. While some people use the excuse that they don't think it is justified. They think like, hey, all these other games have problems. Why should they get sued? Well, you got to start somewhere.
Yeah, I mean,
they probably should have did too. They should have too. Those games should have too, but they didn't. And unfortunately for you, yeah, you're a huge game, and you were out there like selling this game. I mean, everybody knows who you are. You was one of the most anticipated games of the year for a couple years. So you done fucked up. Because I bet you if Grand Theft Auto had the same similar situation happen to them, I bet it would be probably some lawsuits happen with them too.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so it's really just basically look how popular you are. Yes, there have been other games. I mean, people want to talk about what about the Fallout series, and Fallout had its problems, but you know what? I played it not on a very powerful system. Mm-hmm. On both, like of the 360, Fallout 3, and well, I played it a year later. You played it initially, but was it anything so broken in that game where it was unplayable, or it looked like I didn't hear stories about it? Oh man, it just looked so much worse on the 360 than the PC version. Like, you know, the PC version looked better, but it was like
some like game breaking things for some people. Yeah. But I luckily never ran into that stuff.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I'm always here. Like, I luckily never did either. And PC, even on PC, people had game breaking things. It doesn't matter like how powerful your console was.
Yeah,
it just some things it broke. But for some reason, I don't know how bad it was. See, even though I hear things, it was something either funny how it messed up it was, but it wasn't to a point where I heard enough people say that I couldn't play it. Yes, there were some people who did say it can't mess up for me and it was unplayable for me. But most people I didn't hear that from. While with this game, it seems like a lot of people on these older consoles it's still somewhat current generation or last. I don't know because it's still new, so I still call it current generation. The Xbox One and the PS4. It's just that a lot of people. It was on everything on all these games that you just saw like how scaled back. Not only how scaled back it was, but these issues were out there so much. I think it was. It just seemed like it was a lot more than the other big games that might have had certain problems. Like, even though, like, I'm trying to think Bethesda, or maybe I'm looking at it wrong. I mean, I could be, and Bethesda just got away with it. But I don't know. But I don't know. It didn't seem like there was it was an outcry, but not a loud enough outcry. It's like to where it was like, this game is just awful, yeah, and it can't be played. I just didn't see that from Skyrim or Fallout 3. Now, Fallout 4, you know what? It was getting a little louder, though, with Fallout 4. Mm. It was, but not loud like this. So I don't know. I'm curious for a person who really dealt with, like, all this stuff, like how they take it, because I didn't have a powerful PC, and I played Fallout 4 at the beginning, and I never came to a game breaking thing. I mean, but that's just my experience, because some people, the Cyberpunk haven't either. either. While even on some of these powerful consoles and even PCs, Cyberpunk, they have some problems, but I'm not going to blame it, like, say, okay, but you know what? Other people have crashes too. You just get a patch, you fix it. But it just seems like, really, it was the old consoles. It's really the current gen consoles. How many problems they have, the amount of problems they have, I think that, I don't know if there's ever been seen in the other big game. I don't think it has. And I mean, unless it was such a small game that it wasn't enough people to care about.
Yeah.
But big as this game is, I don't think it has. And plus, and I think the lie is really just I don't call it a lie, but it's somewhat of a lie, because you made this attempt to be run on these consoles.
Right.
We didn't know about next gen when we heard about this game. We didn't know what was next gen going to be. There was no dev kits out. So it should at least run on these consoles. Like the version that's out now, technically you're telling us is current gen.
Right.
And you're going to put out, you're making the next gen one to come out this year. So why don't they run on this current hardware? That's really what it is. Like, there was a few bugs, man. That would be nothing, but I think it's more than that. It's like it's almost unplayable on these current gen consoles, or they look so bad that it doesn't make any sense. That, wait a minute, this is the game you showed off at E3? I mean, I know, like, yeah, that was probably the PC, but damn, you usually it'll be close. Like, and then we had these games. You can't even say, like, man, a game like this can't run. I said, well, why did Last of Us able to run? Why is how is Red Dead Redemption 2 able to run? Like, yeah, it looks so much better on PC, but it runs on these consoles. I don't know. And like, graphically, looking at Cyberpunk, I mean, it's a beautiful game. When I do see it, like, actually running, it's a beautiful game. But I almost feel like it, like, some people look at it and say, like, oh, it can't run on these current. I don't think so. I think it can run, because we've seen other beautiful games too, man, that has run on these consoles. They don't look as good as like on a PC, no, but they still can run. And I just want to know what happened. Like, what happened in the process that, when did you realize, like, man, this running on these current gens is really going to be a problem? Like, I want to know when did it come to that?
Yeah. I mean, honestly, like, this game is like the perfect storm of issues, right? And I think it's like you're saying, one of the biggest issues and why this is kind of different from a lot of other situations is that you see this game run decently on other systems. You see it run all right on the PC. You see it run all right on a Series X. You see it run all right on a PS5. But the system that they originally intended to sell it on is basically unplayable. And I think that's part of the problem. Is this game started as a last gen, whatever you want to call it, game. That's the way it was announced. That's the way it was sold, up until the idea that there were going to be new consoles and there would be a free upgrade to that. And I think what happened at a certain point is CD Projekt Red realized that they were not going to be able to make a game that was optimized for those older systems. And the only reason it even runs well enough on a PC or a Series X or a PS5 right now is basically brute force. Like, the amount of power that is being thrown at that game, an unfinished buggy game, is only subverted by the power of these new consoles. I think that game is basically broken to its core, and maybe not even broken, but unfinished, because we've been told, and this leads into it too, is that we've been told numerous times, okay, this game was going to be done here. This game was going to be done here. This game was going to be done here. And then you release a product that is blatantly unfinished, despite the fact that you told me 2 months ago it had gone gold. You told me a year ago it was going to release 6 months ago. And there's no way that any of those things were ever going to be true.
Yeah, if it wasn't for the current gen, like if they say this was intended for next gen or something, hey, they would be all right.
Yeah. If they didn't release a last gen version, I think they would have gotten away with it just being a kind of buggy Skyrim-esque thing. Now, I will say, I think the closest example that we had in the past to this is the PS4 version of Skyrim. Like, it was broken in a way that the Xbox version was
right.
not.
Yeah.
And I think unplayable in a lot of ways. So I think, it's like you said, they did kind of get away with something. That was the worst instance I saw out of Bethesda that I could correlate to this. Like, I don't think Fallout 4, Fallout 3 are weird situations in the same way that this is, very specific.
No. Yeah, Skyrim was bad. I feel like there was another game that was like, man, this game was just unplayable on the PS3 or Xbox. It was like one system was playable. I thought it was another game, but I'm trying to think. I don't think it was that big a game though, and that's why that got away with it. I can't remember, but yeah, Skyrim was probably the biggest one. That was the biggest one, and Skyrim got away with it, but doesn't mean that it was right.
Yeah,
maybe they should have been taken off the marketplace too, or they should have got refunds or that nature or something. It should have, just because it didn't happen to them, that it shouldn't happen to CD Projekt Red. I was hoping for them. This is like a learning experience for everybody.
Exactly.
Like, don't try to get away with this shit. Like, maybe, hopefully, I mean, I'm just hoping, but even those games that are a little less broken, but they don't be broken as much because they don't want to take the risk of like people just like, hey, what the fuck going on? So, maybe people would start looking like, hey, look, you can't get away with this shit. I'll put out these broken damn games, man, because people pay full price for these things. Mm-hmm. And you know what? And I want it to be this way, that with those big ass patches as people do. Like, hey, because I live, like you said, in a big, like a metropolitan area where you get nice internet, that's not fair to people who don't.
Yeah.
And they get to buy a game, they got to put in this big ass patch to fix their game, or their game will be a broken mess if they don't. Like, I feel like, well, if that's a problem, then your game don't come out yet. Like, put it on the disc.
Yeah. I mean, it's amazing to me that even when they said, hey, we're delaying this after they had announced that they said that we're going gold, like, that means what you're pressing onto that disc, you already know is not acceptable because you're still making improvements to it. And not everyone has access to the internet to get these updates. It's absurd that we're in a world now where, okay, it can be fixed on the internet, so it will be fixed on the internet. Not, we have the ability to do it, so we can if we need to, but we shouldn't need to.
Yeah, because in some places, they have these limits they can use to download.
Mm-hmm.
And that's caps. Yeah, and sometimes it's not even about money. Like, you sometimes it can be like, well, I guess if you just can't afford it. And sometimes it's not even about it, you can't afford it. Just the area you live in. Just
where you live, exactly. My only option is satellite internet or some garbage like that, right? I mean, that goes to, our infrastructure as a country, but, if you know that's a limitation, then you need to work around those limitations. You can't just say, well, we can continue shipping broken games. The government just needs to get fatter internet pipes around the country.
Yeah.
Why not both? We need you to make better games and also.
I mean, this is more expensive. Like, you mailing me like a thumb drive or something, disc. Whatever.
Exactly.
So I can put the patch in. Jesus.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. It's even point like people. I kind of want to see more of this, so people are going to stop doing that. Like, not have it that they finish their game. Like, you basically now I understand, like, for multiplayer patching and doing updates because things happen. things get broken and some people cheat. They find things around things. You want to fix that multiplayer. The single player, I think overall the single player experience, even if you do like an update, a little update, but it's not because your game's broken. Like most of the game is playable from the disc at the start.
Yeah,
you can play the game. Like that is most basically the game. The only thing that changes is DLC, like adding something else. That's only like the biggest change experience. Like they're basically experiencing the same game I get if I download digitally. That's the way it should be. I mean, we got to get back to that. We're letting people get away. We were letting them get away with it for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to use that. I hate saying that. It's like, hey, probably us to blame because we let this happen. Yeah, well, not real. It's like ain't like I had much of a choice. Well, I can yell to my throat gives out, but that means nothing because I'm not really giving them all the money. It has to be a whole lot of us saying something, but that's not enough. It takes a group like who's suing them to do that. Yeah, I hope changes the other developers' mindsets of what to do, their actions of developing a game. Hopefully, they give us we can start getting better products out there.
Yeah.
Of that nature.
Sometimes there need to be consequences for people to learn. Because
that's the only way. And I think that's what it is. Nobody pressure is like getting pressured is. I come to the realization that that's the only way. Sometimes most of the time to get things done is you have to pressure people to do it. You got to pressure them in some kind of way.
Yeah,
because they're not. They can get away with it because look how long it's been since we've been getting patches all the time, man.
Mm-hmm.
Like every game, it's like all these. Like it's been a long time since I got a game where I could just start it and like, oh, it's a patch. I mean, some of these games I don't notice because I'm just downloading digitally. But I mean, God, it's always like then. I mean, these articles, you know. I always see these articles of, hey, this the day one patch. This the day one patch.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, what the fuck?
This will be fixed in a day one patch. This, that, and the other thing. It's like, why is that acceptable?
Or day 3 or whatever they come out. Or, like they put it out there. Say, oh, something's wrong. Oh, we got a patch coming in a few days. It's like, what the fuck?
Now I get it on like smaller indie titles where something might release and then you don't have a big QA team and you find out you didn't know that something about your game is broken. I'm not saying, get rid of all patches, but I am saying we should definitely incentivize these companies to not be releasing patches day one, not necessitating patches day one. Like it's absurd.
Yeah. Because it's not, these ain't accidents. These ain't just like they just found it out too late.
Yeah.
I think it's got to a point where they just doing it on purpose. Like,
100%. Yeah. Well, we're going to say that we're releasing it this time. We're going to give you good enough review copy, but we're going to continue working on this game in the background to make sure it's actually as good as it needs to be. And that's just not acceptable because not everyone is getting that product that you're allegedly going to provide. Regardless of if you make that update or not, there can be somebody that buys a disc and basically can't, like, can you imagine someone who's not knowledgeable about this stuff going into the store, buying a PlayStation 4 copy of Cyberpunk, not being able to access the internet and just trying to play that copy of the game?
No, I can't imagine.
I mean, could you imagine a child getting that for Christmas? I mean, a child. I say a child. Let's say a teenager because obviously there are dicks everywhere in that game.
That's horrible. But it's so bad that I can't picture like that's what happened.
Yeah,
like that's so bad. It's like, you're getting a totally different game, and then you're getting a game that's so bad. And I mean, see what I was just thinking about it. I feel like they might go another route, Daniel. They might go the route of you have to sign this, like, you know how you do the agreements at the beginning of the games.
Slip it in
and
they're
going to have an agreement.
ULA.
Yeah, hey, they're going to have something in there about, like, hey, this game is broken. Like, you can't, you agree that, hey, there's still a problem with the game. You can't legally sue us or something like that or get a refund, whatever. It's something bad. I feel like they'll just do that.
I'm absolutely sure that will, if not, is already in there, Dominic. Yeah.
No way, it might be already in that. God darn. You know how many times I probably sold my soul?
Every single game you've ever played, Dominic.
And all these sites I get into.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it's that just sucks because this is like one of my most anticipated games since I don't know, Mass Effect 3, maybe.
Yeah.
Like I'm trying to think, what game I was just waiting for. I think Mass Effect 3 was like the last big one. Like I was like, yeah, I can't wait for this. Damn. I mean, it's still a good game though. It's still a great game. It's just that now I'm gonna wait.
Yeah.
Like it's just, I want to wait till, I might just wait till the next gen, like when I get next gen system, and when the next gen version comes out for the next gen system, and I'll get that one.
Yeah. Or just play the Stadia version, Dominic.
Oh yeah, I can say that one. I mean, it's on it's on PC, but they still doing patches. Like I'm just trying to wait till they get some patches done. Maybe I might get it later on PC. Wow, that man wears some. Okay, I'm watching college basketball, and this guy wears some old school shorts, man. He is showing a lot of leg.
Love it. Might even see some ball.
You get yourself, man. Yo, you're in the wrong time, man. You gotta go back. You need to go back to the 70s. Jesus.
It's about the freedom,
but
Dominic. You've seen Reno 911.
Exactly. There's a lot more movement. A lot more movement. He can move. He say I can move better.
Lieutenant Dangle told us that.
Yeah, I hope his thing don't slip out, man. It'll slip his freaking shorts. Like, whoop.
Sometimes that's the way it goes, Dominic.
All right. So I guess that is it for the news.
Yeah. Before we move on to the year in review, we got PlayStation Plus games real quick, Dominic.
Oh, you want to do that first? Okay.
Yeah. We got Shadow of the Tomb Raider and Greedfall, that's pretty cool. Greedfall, that's the one we talked about from Spider.
Did we get that for free or that was on Game Pass?
Greedfall? It must have been on Game Pass. I didn't realize that it had been.
Yeah, I don't think it was free.
Somewhere.
No, yeah, you know what? I'm going to say was it free? I think it was on Game Pass. Oh, Technomancer. I don't think about Technomancer. Think about Techno. Okay. But I feel like Greedfall might have been on Game Pass though. I don't know. I remember.
I'm not sure.
I know I played on PC. But I know Technomancer was I think that was that a Games for Gold game, and
I think so.
Or Game Pass game. Yeah, I think it was Games for Gold. But yeah, that's good. I think that's good. You talk about Shadow of the Tomb Raider, the latest Tomb Raider, and Greedfall. That's good. PlayStation Plus games. Are they backwards compatible for the PS5? I think Shadow of the Tomb Raider might be, but is Greedfall?
I believe they both are. Yeah.
Okay.
I think they both can be played on the PS5.
Okay, so that's good.
And then in addition to those for the PS5, if you own that, you can also play Manhunter. You can download that.
Maneater.
If you don't, or yes, Maneater. Yes, the shark RPG. You can download that from the website. Well, you can activate it basically on the website if you don't have a PS5 for future use on a PS5, but you can't play a PlayStation 4 version of it right now.
Yeah. So,
that's pretty cool. That's not a bad lineup.
That is a good lineup. I think it's a good lineup.
And I think that'll do some good for Greedfall, because I don't think a lot of people really got that game, and it sounded like from the reviews it was a pretty solid game. So I'd like to see more people get their hands on it.
I wasn't just in the mindset to play a game I think I was playing other games, and that's a game you need to invest, because this is a RPG. Yeah. I just was not in that kind of space to play a game like that. But I mean, I feel like if you like Dragon Age and that things of that nature, that it seemed like it's up your alley with that. Now, gameplay wise, I haven't played it enough, so I can't say. I know story wise, it definitely feels along those lines. Like, it's probably not as polished, definitely like those AAA games. Well, darn, these days, what AAA games ain't really polished like they used to be either. But some of these games, but you can definitely see the roughness of that game. But I think it's still very well done. It seems like still a well done game. All right, so that's it.
Yeah, that's all I got for the week.
So we got no new releases, right? So we can just skip over that. And now we're just gonna go into the year in review. We're gonna review the year of 2020, all the biggest news or game releases that came out. Mostly, yeah. So what we had embarking this year, and yeah. So take it away, man.
All right, so I got kind of a month-by-month breakdown here. So there are a couple of months missing because there weren't a lot of things happening. But we'll start it off in January. The first thing that happened, we're going to talk about here, Dominic, is Dying Light 2 was delayed indefinitely. Now, Dead Island 2 is kind of DOA, but also allegedly still being worked on. But Dying Light 2 we thought was being worked on and would actively be coming out possibly even this year. And then they said it was delayed indefinitely, not saying when at all. So what the hell?
That I don't know, Dan. It's crazy because this is pre-COVID.
Exactly.
So who the fuck knows what's going to happen with this game now? Now that I'm thinking about it, I totally forgot that this was even said. I kept thinking it was said during COVID.
Yeah.
This was happened pre-COVID, and oh man, because I remember the months before COVID are very blurry. So I don't know. I hope this game still comes out because I'm more looking forward to this than Dead Island. Because Dead Island 2, you haven't seen anything on. I haven't seen anything except for that trailer, that gameplay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's unfortunate because Dying Light 2, we've seen it, man. We've seen gameplay of this, and I wonder what the story is behind that game. It's sad if it just stopped. It just goes away. Maybe Dead Island, people can pick up the pieces if they stop and say, "Hey, we're just going to take your work." And
it would be crazy if it'd be bounce back and forth. Basically, it's like, okay, Dead Island comes out, then kind of disappears. Dying Light comes out, then it disappears. Then Dead Island 2 comes out. It's like, is there just a curse on this kind of game? A hardcore first-person zombie
what
game?
happened? It's got to be some. Yeah, of course it is. It's always probably something behind the scenes that's really management messes it up, like something mismanaged somewhere down the line. Because it's not a kind of game that should take so long. It's just, that sucks. All right, so what else we got, man?
All right, Dominic, so here's the first instance of it. Cyberpunk 2077 was delayed from its original release date of April 16th to September 17th. I think we'll be seeing that one quite a bit, Dominic.
Yeah. I was disappointed, but I was like, we get September. Oh, well. Because I had other games to play that it would hold me over.
That also then got delayed.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So then we get into February. That is when Rob Ferguson decides he is going to leave the Coalition and the Gears franchise to join Activision Blizzard and help out with Diablo.
Traitor. No. I mean, hey, going to another big game like Diablo, I mean, very, those people, man, those people are fanatics over there. But
he seems like a guy who's into being the finisher, right? Like being the closer. You bring him in when your game's maybe struggling a little bit and he knocks it out of the park for you and then moves on to the next challenge.
Yeah. I mean, I hope this doesn't hurt Gears because I did like Gears 5. I did enjoy it. I hope it doesn't hurt it. I hope it still can go on to finish the story. But yeah, good for him. Yeah, I'm curious about this Diablo. Diablo 4.
Definitely. After that, Dominic, PAX East happened, much to not our surprise, because this is the very early rumblings of people saying, hey, maybe we shouldn't have this thing. because of COVID. I think it was the mayor of Boston that had come out and said like, hey, maybe don't do this, guys. Sony had pulled out. A couple other companies had pulled out that were going to be traveling.
And I called them cowards.
I was going to say, and you cowards. And I both were like, I don't know. It seems maybe a little unnecessary.
The flu happens all the time, and y'all come over.
I don't know if we went that far saying that, but yeah,
you go back to listen, Daniel.
I don't want to. Let's just say right now we were wrong. Much like Fauci was wrong about Matt. No, I'm not getting into that.
Delete the podcast. Delete the podcast for the whole month.
It's on the internet, Dominic. It exists forever. Yeah, so that was a crazy time, Dominic. We didn't know any better back then.
I know. I believed in Donald Trump.
Yep.
I believed in him.
Thought he was going to take care of everything for us. All right, so we're going to skip forward here to March. And in March, we had Dan Houser leaving Rockstar. I think it had actually happened a little bit before that, but that's when we found out about it, like through some FCC filings or some, bureaucracy nonsense. And, that's when everybody started to get concerned that GTA was then just going to be a Grand Theft Auto online kind of sweatshop, basically. Like, let's pump out another thing like this, or let's continue only making content for this. You're never going to get a single player game ever again with a great story. You're only getting, tween shooting at you online.
When I hear about like these people leaving, I don't know what to feel, because I don't know how much. Like, I know how, like, yeah, they are one of the top dogs, but I was like, can it go on? Is it? Because it's not, like, is it the same as a movie director? Is this,
right?
I don't know if it's the same thing. Like if I heard a movie director leave the movie or something like that, like, hey, they're not going to do the movies no more. And I was like, oh, man, the movies, I don't know if they're going to be good anymore or not, because I know the director did a good job. I don't know if that's the same for some of these guys. If they go away, like, these games are going to suck.
Yeah, like how many lines of dialogue was Dan Houser personally writing for one of these games? Or is it just a team of writers that he's, leading maybe, or maybe he's not even doing that. Maybe he's just getting his name on the project at this point. But
yeah, but I guess it'd be a better look at like a writer. I guess a writer for a show or a movie. Yeah. So I don't know. And the writing was, for a video game, the writing was good for Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah,
but
it's enjoyable.
You can't. You don't think they can find somebody else? Somebody take up the reins. I don't know. I think it's possible. I don't think it was gold.
Yeah.
So, maybe go for video game standards. See, maybe go for video game standards. But I feel like you can find somebody else. I feel like there's other talent out there. So I don't know. I always never know when I hear about top people leaving, like if that's a bad thing or not saying it's necessarily a good thing, but is it all bad? Because people move on.
Because we even see things like studios change hands, right? Like we saw Halo move to 343. We saw Gears of War move from Epic to the Coalition, and sure, maybe there are some stumbling blocks here and there, but I think for the most part, we don't look at either of those series and go like they're substantially worse than they were from their original creators.
Yeah, you got people who do. Some people say like, "Oh, 343 is horrible," but I don't think they are.
Yeah,
like I'm fine with them. They make the stories of Halo just as confusing as it did with Bungie.
Yeah,
and with the Gears now. With 4, it was kind of like, I don't know. It's okay. It's okay game, but the story was, I don't know. It wasn't what I expected. Like, it wasn't bad, but it wasn't. I thought I wanted more. But 5 seemed like a whole lot better. It's like, okay. It seemed like I like where they're going with here, even though I still want to know what the hell, how they become. I kind of got the story of the Queen a little bit more. So. We'll see. You got people, but I don't think it went that horrible. But then you got games like look at BioShock with BioShock 2. That's a same brand, but it's not the same company. But it was still a good game.
Yeah.
I still enjoyed the game. So yeah, it's sometimes some things get worse, sometimes it gets better, sometimes with the same people it get worse. So you never know. You don't know. I always like look at it like, hey, I wait for the game to come out, regardless if they were great before. I wait for the game to come out.
Yeah, because honestly, like 90% of the people that work on these games, you don't even know their name.
No, I know the big names. I know the big names.
90% of the studio could still be the exact same team, and one person could change, and it could mean everything or nothing at all.
Yeah. All right, so what else we got here, Dan?
All right, Dominic, here's the big one. This one hurt a little bit. E3 was officially canceled in March. Now,
and we were going this year.
A little worried about E3. Yeah, we were. We were already a little worried about E3 after last year's kind of disastrous. I don't know if you could call it that. But
we were talking about like the information.
What's that?
Getting out. What was it? Last year's E3? Was it like
it was a lot of people. Well, I mean, originally it was just E3 not being that big a thing. Like it was just kind of felt smaller, and you introduce more fans instead of journalists and stuff like that. And then of course the leak of a lot of attendees information, journalist information, that then put a larger stink on it. And you and I talked at the time, like this might actually kind of been a godsend for E3 as a corporation, that they might actually be able to, skip over this year, adjust a little bit, reevaluate things, and then, kick into high gear this coming year. Now, hopefully for their sake, we're in the arena of like people are vaccinated and you can actually do an E3 this year. If they're ready.
Or they go back to what it used to be, where it's like, hey, we're just getting like media people and retailers, and so it's limited. It's going to be limited capacity, and we're just going to focus on that.
Like if they just put on a smaller show, like they might be better off. But the unfortunate thing for them is I think the video game companies know now that they don't need E3. And we've seen that a lot from like an EA who participates like down the street, and Microsoft has kind of been doing a similar thing. They don't need to pay thousands of dollars for these gigantic booths when they could just put out a YouTube video with them, showing off some gameplay and kind of get the same reaction and news cycles out of people, and almost in a way get better news cycles because you aren't competing with everything else that's happening at E3. So,
that's
we'll
true.
see. E3 was already in kind of a bad place, but despite getting kind of a reprieve last year of not having to deal with it and pushing it off, it might have just been, procrastination, and now they're still just as bad a situation and haven't figured out what they need to do to fix that. So we'll see, Dominic. It's January 2nd right now, but in a couple of months from now, we could be hearing one way or the other what's happening with E3. Yeah.
Yep.
So
I'm curious. Yeah, well, all these places. I mean, I think PAX is different, but because it's more of like a community thing, like people come together and like playing games, board games, video games, and the conferences. People discussing like some of their favorite video game developers or something to do with gaming. It's like. Hey, people like it's just it has a different vibe from E3. It's not a commercial really. Yeah. I mean, it can be, but it's not it's not what it was built on either, basically. So, but E3 it is. That's what that is basic commercial. And like you said, they probably just don't need it. But I don't know. Maybe there's something to them wanting to continue. I mean, I don't know what the companies want. Why would they want to continue? I mean, it could be some. I mean, it could be some reasons I just don't know. I don't know of, because you saying that I'm
for
just
this
thinking
long, there's got to be some benefit to it, right?
Yeah, But I mean, also the internet wasn't as big years ago,
That's true.
and and people were able to just live stream things. You might saw a video of something, but you weren't live streaming it. So I don't know. I mean, because I don't want it to go away. I like it. I like the whole 3 days of E3 and seeing different news and people telling what they experienced, what games they played. Trailers coming out. I love that whole thing. The
and we saw the difference this year. Like everybody kind of doing their own thing here and there and all over the place, and not really knowing when you were going to get like that information. Like it's nice having like, this is the week that, you know, maybe if I'm really committed to it, I'm going to take off from work and I'm just going to get this massive dump of video game stuff that I can, you know, watch and look forward to for the rest of the year and the upcoming year. Yeah, absolutely. There's definitely something
there
to
asking
that.
questions who can ask questions. Because there was a lot of questions as we're going to go on that weren't answered in these videos that these people put up. And we didn't know we didn't know what some shit was coming out or what they mean by this or what does this mean.
What the game even was.
Yeah. So nobody asked questions, which I know they're probably okay with, but I wasn't okay with me. It's made me confused and angry. And tired. Confused, angry, and tired.
All right, Dominic, as we move into June here, that is when we finally get the PS5 reveal. We see the console. We get some pricing on that. Or no, we don't get pricing. I'm sorry. We just see the console at that point. And we see that there is also a digital version, and we speculate at that point to no end of how big the difference in pricing will be, which
I thought it was called the $800 range.
No, I mean, I was right there with you. Like,
because they were quiet about it. I'm thinking like, oh man, it's gonna be super expensive.
Yeah. So, along with that news, we also got the news that Microsoft was shutting down Mixer. In July, they were going to shut that down, and that came as a surprise to a lot of people, especially Ninja had just moved over to Mixer relatively recently. And of course, we enjoyed our prominent success on there because literally no one else was streaming on there.
Has it been a year? Has it been a year at that time he's been over there?
You know what? I don't think it had been. I don't think it had.
I don't think it had been either. Yeah, man. I was surprised. I mean, I know haters, people who just love demise of things. I don't know why. Or like they just like to gloat about something.
Yeah,
being
that was
horrible,
August 2019 when Ninja had moved over.
Yeah, I swear people like saying, "Oh man, you should know what's going to look like." It was nowhere popular as Twitch, but you know, I didn't care. I was like,
yeah, it's still
there was
competition.
no commercials.
It had really good tech too. That low latency stuff was insane. Like I could literally when we were playing Dead Space, I was watching my screen on the computer to play the video game.
Exactly. That was because I remember Twitch, like watching you through Twitch or something, and like how much delay it was, or you watching me, how much a delay it was, like you seeing things. But with Mixer, they did a good job, like doing that. I was surprised. I was like, wait a minute, so okay, this actually works. And I mean, their whole setup, it was fine. It was simple and it was easy, definitely easy compared to Twitch, because since it's integrated with Xbox, you can just easily just put your thing on Mixer. You can put your videos up there. Like you said, competition. It was definitely some type of competition, but you know, in this world we live in, Daniel, competition. We don't need that. We need to keep things simple. Everybody gets one company.
I mean, it's wild. There really isn't any competition that at least I'm aware of. Maybe there's something smaller that people are using, but like,
I mean, unless you talk about
Google
video games. I mean, YouTube video games or whatever, YouTube gaming,
and that's.
But I don't think is that
Facebook
big as
gaming. I guess is the thing, but who the fuck is talking about that? I don't know anybody that's using Facebook gaming. Maybe that's
most
just
of the people
me
I
in
know,
my circles, but.
They're using Twitch and they're posting videos on Facebook. It's not streaming. Yeah.
crazy.
Twitch is king, and Twitch Amazon is king. So you better put those subscriptions, subscribe and pay, so you won't see those freaking commercials like I always do now.
Yes, it's free to subscribe. Just use your Twitch Prime money. All right, Dominic. Here we go again. Cyberpunk 2077 delayed from September 17th to November 19th.
Yes, this hurt me. It's like it didn't hurt me, you know. I mean, because at this point I was just like, darn, man, they keep delaying this game. I say, what's going on? It's like, what's happening here? I was like, okay, I guess I have to wait 2 months. All right, so what else we got here? That was it for June, right?
That was it for June. As we move into July,
you know what? Hold on. Before you get to July.
Sure.
So nothing happened in May.
Not that I saw. I looked through our notes, but that was also kind of around the time that... No, actually, that wasn't. That was earlier.
My birthday happened in May. That's what happened.
Oh, I'm sorry, Dominic. Should have put that on the list.
Yeah.
It's going to really hurt you when I get into July and I do have my birthday on here, so I'm sorry.
I forget yours. I'm sorry.
It's all right. All right. So as we get into July, Dominic, this is when Ubisoft really ended up in the news due to some extremely toxic practices that allegedly were happening there. Sexual harassment, other harassment. What was that?
I was saying it's the Me Too.
Basically, it was Me Too 2 this time for video games.
Well, yeah, Me Too video games. That's what it is. Yeah, Me Too video games.
And also, I think around this time, it was also when all like the wrestling stuff was happening too.
It was. It was around the same time. Yes.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, it just absolutely
everybody gets sexual harassed. You get sexual harassment. You get sexual harassment. Everybody gets.
Yeah, unfortunately. And
it is
Ubisoft, we talked a lot about that. You know, it sounded, they put out a lot of words that sounded like they were making attempts to do something. I don't know if that has actually happened. Here's to hoping. You know, I haven't seen a lot of stories recently. I know Jim Sterling has still, brings it up from time to time, which, good on them, for continuing to push that and
Kotaku,
hopefully seeing
because
some changes.
Will put they be really blatant in their titles on some of that stuff.
Yeah, and it's crazy because I think it actually happened right at the beginning of August, but like that stuff led to basically what seemed like the pushing out of Michel Ancel. Now his stuff didn't sound like it was necessarily sexual harassment stuff. It sounded like his was just blatant harassment stuff, a very hard person to work with in a toxic
asshole.
Environment. Yeah, basically. So with that, we wonder where Beyond Good and Evil are.
What's going on, Beyond Good and Evil? What's going on? What's going to happen with Rain Man?
It's going to happen with Wild.
Yeah, Wild. Yeah. What's going to happen with the rabbits?
Who gets custody of the rabbits?
Yeah.
So that's
taking them. He's taking them away.
That replaced our wonderful. Well, I guess June was technically our time for E3, but July kind of filled that space with here's a whole bunch of really bad shit that's happening in the video game industry. All right. After that, Dominic, we get into August. This is when we have some really heavy hitters here. Epic launches their direct payments on iOS and Android and gets promptly removed from those stores, to which we're still there. And it's kind of odd because it seemed like it was going to be an extremely large battle that, was eventually going to have some winner or loser. And here we are, Fortnite's just not on iPhones, and everybody seems okay with that.
Yeah. Or, I mean, I don't know. You got to find some kid who was playing Fortnite a lot on iPhone and see how he feels about that.
He's already thrown it in the trash and got an Android that he can, like, jailbreak or something. I don't know. Just has a gaming computer worth $3,000 now.
Yeah, it's been no push or anything. Like, I haven't seen anything of, like, somebody giving away, like, like, Epic saying, okay, I'll heed to your demands, or Apple saying we'll let you do what the fuck you want. Nah, they They just
I would
went
imagine
away.
that's still getting played out in court a little bit, something or other. But yeah, it just seems crazy to me that at the time it seemed like that was going to be one of the biggest things that was going to happen in gaming. And now it's just kind of like, yeah, I guess it happened, but nothing really changed. Apple's still taking their cut. So, and then one of the other big stories of the year, Dominic, Halo Infinite was announced to be delayed. At the time, we didn't know till when, just not going to be at launch. Now we know it's going to be fall 2021. And this was a big story because we were like, okay, well, what does Xbox have at launch now then? And as it turns out, not really much.
Yeah,
they have Game Pass.
Like a Dragon.
Yes. Yeah, and that, to their credit, that game really did kind of step up and take a place that I don't think it would have really gotten otherwise, as like this is the premier Xbox Series X launch title. And I think it's doing well with that moniker. So it's very cool. Yeah, it seems wild though, because there are like all those advertisements out there where it's like, oh yeah, we thought we were coming out, so here's a can of Mountain Dew with Master Chief on it.
Yeah, I know.
Maybe hold on to that until next year.
Yeah, you got those advertisers that were just ready, man.
Mm-hmm.
And
hey, Dominic, we still got Master Chief in Fortnite before the end of the year, though. So
yeah, you do.
We got that going for us.
I really hope that Halo Infinite is great. I hope it's a great game.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, Dominic, as we move into September, we have Amazon announcing their game streaming service called Luna, which I eventually tested, in like November when they made that available to me as far as...
you tested, I think around that time.
Yeah, because I haven't been playing Control for that long, and not since, September or whatever. Along with that, we also got Nintendo finally announcing long-rumored Mario collections. The Mario 35th Anniversary Collection came out. Well, it was announced for, Galaxy and 64 and Sunshine. And then along with that, they announced that Mario 35 was coming and a whole bunch of other stuff. A lot of stuff that then they said was going to be exclusive. Well, coming up, actually, is it this month or next month? I can't remember. But Mario, the 3D World, that's coming out to the Switch. But like the 35th Anniversary Collection and Super Mario Brothers 35, they announced that stuff would disappear from the store on March 31st, which is some Nintendo bullshit, right? Like,
yeah, definitely. Don't make a lick of damn sense. Don't make a lick of sense that you would want to just keep selling. I mean,
at full price, because that's what you would do.
Yeah, because all the other games are full price. You got Splatoon. Splatoon 2 is still $60.
That's just absurd. I'm sorry.
These launch games are still $60, man.
It's ridiculous. All right. We also have the other big one, Dominic. Xbox buying Bethesda. I mean, that's got to be up there with one of the biggest stories of the year.
Oh, yeah.
Just kind of not even kind of out of nowhere. It was out of nowhere. I mean, there had been rumors of Microsoft and Xbox. I knew about
Daniel, but I've been sworn to secrecy.
Damn it. Dominic, you need to stop signing these NDAs. You got to share this information with the podcast. Yeah, I mean, it really came out of nowhere. There's been a lot of speculation over the years that Xbox would pick up somebody like a Sega or, possibly even a Capcom. But
yeah,
Bethesda, I didn't even know that was a thing that was on the table, basically, right? Like nobody's thinking like Bethesda. Yeah, somebody's going to pick them up. So that was wild. And now we're, kind of in the place where we're, okay, they're still going to release the things that were supposed to be Sony exclusive, but are we going to see these new games come out on PlayStation consoles? I really wonder. It's hard not to speculate, but they could very well just be like, hey, you want to play these games, you get Game Pass, and then we lock you in for 6 months.
I mean, Sony got Final Fantasy. It's exclusive to them right now.
Mm-hmm.
So, and
Playing
they
fire
got...
with fire.
I mean, the newest Final Fantasy. Now, I don't know about the remake, Final Fantasy VII remake. Now, I know it's coming to P... Because they talked about, hey...
yeah. I mean, but we haven't seen anything firm for that, and we're coming up very quickly on the date that would be, 1 year out. So I wonder if they're just going to be like, in 2 weeks it's going to be on the PC.
Confirmed. Yeah. Yeah, it's just so weird. It's just... I don't know. I mean, they must pay them a good amount of money to do that. Because I'm thinking like, yo...
You know what's going to be great, Dominic? On the day that it's been like 1 year and 1 day, it comes to Game Pass.
That's crazy if it does.
Microsoft's like, we can do that too.
Look, I was thinking about getting it because it was like a sale, but I'm like, yo, it's almost to that year, man.
Right, yeah.
It's almost to that year that I'm just going to wait it out and see what happens.
This long, might as well. Roll the dice. Yeah. All right, Dominic. Also in September, we finally got the pricing for the PS5 and the Xbox Series S, as well as the unveil of the Xbox Series S finally, which had been long rumored.
2 months before it comes out, or a month and some days. I don't know.
It had to be like mid-September, I think, that the pricing came out. Because looking back now, it's like, it's September they announced the pricing. It wasn't until November that they came out. But being in it, it was like, man, these consoles are like 6 weeks away, and we still don't have pricing for this stuff. Yeah,
they had the dates of when they come out, but we don't know what we're paying for.
Yeah,
it's just like what we don't know what we're paying for and how much it costs. I mean, it was weird how they did that this time, but it was surprising though, because like how I thought it was gonna be a whole lot more. $500 seemed like that was a good number, and then with Xbox, with the S, that was surprising.
Yeah.
Did you didn't have up here when they announced the S officially?
They announced it at the same time as the pricing for the X.
All right. Yeah. So that being what, 300, it's like, wow. And then the other system being 500, but then Sony's, digital, still the same system, but it's just digital, just $100 less, which I'm like, wow, that's good too. That's all I want. That's all I want for Sony. I don't need a disc drive. And the Xbox, I would say I want the S, but it's actually lower powered than the Series X. I'll get the Series X. And but 500 was a good price. That's a good price. But Sony, it's funny I keep saying 500. I keep forgetting about the digital one. Because I always see they showing the other one. And then every now and then I'll see the black box, which I think that's a better looking box. And I was like, oh, that's a digital box. I was wondering, like, what the hell is that? So, I forgot. They got the $400 one. Yeah, because I don't care about the fucking disc drive. Yeah, that's what I want. Yeah. So, but I think they came with some decent prices. And I was surprised because the way it was looking, it was that, oh, man, it's going to be very expensive systems. And I kind of did want them to price me out. I want them to price me out so I don't care. I say, well, let's stop this podcast. We gotta do retro gaming podcast. We gotta change this name or something because that's all I'm gonna be playing. Yeah, I'm playing some old ass games. All right. So what else we got?
All right, Dominic. In October, we've got Blizzard announcing that they were going to end support for StarCraft 2. So big blow to the StarCraft community, but I think most people at that point had kind of moved on from that game. And
what did it move on to, Daniel? Warcraft 3 Forged?
Yep. Warcraft Reforged. Yeah, which came out as a shit show this year, was that pre-COVID, Dominic? Was that?
I want to say that was pre-COVID, but I don't remember. I want to say it was, though.
Let's see.
Was that January?
It was January 28th, so yeah.
Yeah, I was about to say, I think it was January.
A whole different world, Dominic. Back when we could just complain about video games and not having to be locked inside our houses to keep ourselves safe from an invisible enemy, or whatever we're calling it now. And then we also, Dominic, have in October Cyberpunk 2077 delayed from November 19th to December 10th. And this announcement, as we discussed earlier, came after they had already announced that they were gone gold, which means
yes, and realized,
whatever shit you got on that disc, I apologize for.
Yeah, gone gold, it means nothing. It means absolutely nothing.
It really does, yeah.
Yeah, now I'm kind of to a point where I don't want to hear nobody say they gone gold.
No,
like, so don't tell me that. It's like, yeah, it's like, fuck you.
Let me know when that game is done. All right, Dominic. In November, we've got some stuff going on. Nintendo, being its wonderful Nintendo self, sent cease and desists to The Big House, who is a organizer for Smash Brother tournaments. In this case, it was Smash Brothers Melee, and what they were doing was using a modified version that it runs through an emulator. It's called Slippy is what the version is called. Yeah, exactly. Right. Slippy Toad. And apparently Nintendo was none too happy about that. And then it sounded like after that, they also just went after some Smash Brothers Ultimate streams as well, because Nintendo doesn't understand the internet. And come on, like what harm does it do? Smash Brothers Melee, like, are you really getting sales out of Melee at this point?
No.
That you're concerned about people
not from
using
them. Not
Slippy?
from them.
Like
you're not getting sales from them.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. It's
Nintendo's.
It's one of those things like, yeah, legally, yeah, they all have the right to do it. But, well, like, just looking at it, just like, you don't need to, but you don't need to. You don't need to do it.
Exactly. All right, Dominic. And then, of course, in November, we also had the launch of the Xbox Series S and X, as well as the PlayStation 5 disc and discless version.
You can't change the name of a system now. It's too late, but that's fucking horrible. You can't think of something else.
Yeah, well, just wait until they do the Series Z and Y. That'll be exciting. Yeah, I mean, it's you still can't get them anywhere. I do see the Series S from time to time in a place where I could, like, I see it come up on the Walmart website and it still be available by the time that I get to that webpage. I have not seen that be the case with the Series X at all. Like, I'm not even seeing people really post about them. Maybe that's just my bias, because if I were to get something, it would be the PS5. So I'm maybe following that stuff a little more. And I see Sony Directs. They seem to have the best process. Like, they have a queue
don't you follow? You follow Nimble or Wario 64?
Yeah, and Cheap Ass Gamer. I really don't see them post about the Series X too much, though.
Oh.
I also, like, I just see whatever pops up in my timeline for the most part. I haven't really, checked out their feeds and just to see, like, when they're talking about the stuff. But again, I think part of that is just because I'm only really looking for what's happening with the PS5. I'm not really concerned too much with the Xbox right now, just because that's not something, even if I stumbled across one and could get one, is something I would necessarily get, just because I have a PC that runs most of these games well enough that I don't think I really need to invest that money in one right now. And the discless PS5 is at least cheaper. So, yeah. And then in December, Dominic, we end the year with EA sniping Take-Two, taking Codemasters right from out from under their nose with a cool $1.2 billion. So maybe fewer microtransactions in Codemasters games than if they had been gotten by Take-Two. Who's to say? EA's pretty bad too. But good luck to all the people at Codemasters working on those Dirt games and Project Cars games. Hopefully they continue to make what they want to make.
Yeah.
And then we also have Kate C. Hudson and Mark Dura leaving BioWare. And then almost immediately following, like only a week or two later, At the Video Game Awards, both Dragon Age and a new Mass Effect appearing there via teaser trailers. Almost like, hey guys, we're not dead.
So I'm curious, like I said before, with people leaving, I don't know, because look, Casey Hudson came, and Anthem did not turn out great. And
No,
I don't really know what's going on with this new Anthem. Like putting this patches in to make a new and better game. Is that even still happening? I have
that's
no
a good
idea.
question. Maybe Casey Hudson took that with him. Maybe he was the only one that wanted to make that game work. Everybody else is like, fuck it, whatever. Let's move on to the next thing.
So, I'm just hoping these games turn out to be pretty good. Dragon Age and Mass Effect, the new Mass Effect, and the Mass Effect. Oh, darn, Dan, did you put up here about the Mass Effect?
No, I didn't. The Mass Effect trilogy announced.
Yeah. That was a big announcement. Yeah, I was like, holy shit, y'all finally doing it after people been asking for it for how many years now?
Way too late, Dominic.
Yeah. Like,
that was in November when they announced that as well.
Like, you waiting, man.
They
like, that
literally waited until the next consoles came out to not only announce that it was happening, but release it. It's just so bad.
Because now I'm probably going to want it to look a whole lot better than what I wanted to look like
exactly
when it came out years ago.
Now I want a 4K 120 experience with HDR.
Yep. I want everything. I want to see like Liara's nipples like so clear. I want to see all that shit.
Suit.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Whatever. It's like, darn, man. It's funny you say, darn, you know how much money y'all could have saved if y'all would have just did this instead of Andromeda or Anthem. You know how much money you could have saved a whole lot of money and made a lot of money. And I thought y'all wanted to make money. What's wrong with y'all?
Yeah, that was bad. That was some bad choices on their part. Speaking of bad choices, Dominic, the last one I got here, Cyberpunk 2077 finally launches and is in real rough shape and gets pulled from the PlayStation Store. That's
crazy.
Bad.
It's crazy how we saw all these great reviews for this game. Then everybody was waiting too. It's like, man, what's it going to look like on the current gen consoles? And people did jokes showing like bad clips of PlayStation graphics or something, or N64 graphics, and they weren't far off.
No,
they were not far off because it's ridiculous. I mean, like, you didn't think it was going to be that bad. It's like, it can't be that bad. Like, why would it be that bad? They made it for these systems originally, and that's what they are. They are made for these systems because they only look better because they're on the new gens, but they're not made for them. It's weird. It's not weird. It's just goddamn. I mean, it's sort of weird because how bad it turned out. Like, you did. It's like, yeah, man, I really just fucked up. Really, it's like, what the hell happened? And just think about it. Like, a lot of people saying it's a great game. Some people saying it's their game of the year. And like, people are having great experiences on these newer gen systems or the PC that they have to, like, some people say that, like, they feel like they argue with people over this. They say, look, I didn't play it on the current gen, I played on this. And I don't think you don't have to argue. You just say what you played it on.
Yeah.
And that it's the game of the year on this specific system.
Yeah.
It's not the game of the year on
It was the game of the year on the
system.
PS4. I love the version I played on.
Yeah. It's so bad because just all that goodwill CD Projekt Red, and now it's just tainted
so quickly.
And it's on them.
100%. We don't even have like an EA to blame, like, oh, EA came in, bought them out, and
WB, because they're the ones who's helping them as far as distribution, because that's what's on the case. You can't blame them.
Yeah. Dominic.
Yeah.
What a year. What a year.
Yeah. I mean, it was generally a decent year. I mean, you had some top games out here. Let me get this damn Wikipedia page out. You had, of course, Last of Us 2. People loved. I mean, not my kind of game, but people did like.
And it's something I forgot to mention when we were talking about the news, the leak of that before it came out, like it getting delayed.
That was big.
Yeah.
Spoiling it. People seeing Joel and spoiler alert. Seeing Joel dead from that, and people speculating like, oh, this is about they're gonna play as this girl a lot of the game. You do play as her, and then she's a transgender, and she wasn't. She's just a very bulky woman with no breasts. That's all. She's still a woman. Just that your traditional looking video game woman. But the game turned out. I mean, people loved it. It was the Game Awards Game of the Year. It was some other people's Game of the Year. I think Game Informer's Game of the Year. I mean, it has a great story. I mean, the story I looked at, it was all right. It was an all right story. And I understand some people are upset. I mean, because some people like Joel, so you killing him off is like, at the beginning, it's like, oh, man, that sucks. Even though for me, I know what happened at the end of the last game. I felt like, come on, man, he kind of deserved it. Right? I mean, I didn't say he deserved to die. He deserves to die, but
I know what you mean.
He's kind of asking for it.
Right.
He's kind of asking for it. I mean, look what he did. Like, if people who knew those people he killed were still alive, what should they have done? They should be like, well, we could have saved the whole fucking world, but this guy just killed all our scientists and took the person away. So I guess we just have to accept it. I guess we just have to say, what the hell? No, you want vengeance. But I agree with people saying that how the story went and how it ended in 2 also kind of don't make sense. Yeah, that's why I come back to it, Dan. It's a game that I don't think should have been made. I just think it should have ended at 1. I think that because it's such a strong story-driven game, and they could have made something new. They didn't have to make a 2 to me. This did not need to be a 2. I mean, hey, it worked out. They got good awards and stuff, and they got sales. I mean, yeah. But still, like, for me personally, like, seeing this game, like, the story-wise, it's like, you didn't need to do this thing. The story was fine. The story had a great ending. This, like, I don't know. But you got Final Fantasy VII Remake come out, man. That's huge. I mean, this game, people been talking about remake of Final Fantasy forever. And they finally did part 1 of it. And I mean, that came out. I mean, we got part of it. But still
hurts a little bit. It
sold well.
Part 1.
Yeah. It sold well, and I don't know when Part 2 is ever going to come out. We don't know.
I mean, that's the crazy thing, right? Is like we've now got Part 1 on PS4 and Xbox One. Well, I'm sorry.
No.
On PS4.
Yeah, what are you talking about, Daniel? Don't lie to me.
Oh, spoiler. Sorry, I was supposed to sign that NDA, Dominic. I wasn't supposed to tell you. No. But now Part 2 is not coming to the PS4. That is a game that we'll never see release on PS4, right?
Yeah, that it can't. I don't know. That's going to be. So
do we then get Part 1 as like an add-in or pack-in for PS5
no,
or
just
PS6?
a HD, Super HD, or it'd probably be free. Hopefully,
I mean, that's what I'm hoping. Like with the purchase of the game, you know,
free upgrade. Or no, you have to you have to have purchase it at this date, then you get to buy it again.
Yeah.
Marvel's Avengers was a big stinker. That it sold well. It was number 9 in the US as far as Wikipedia's top 10 selling games, whatever they go by on this. But it just did not. Square Enix really dropped the ball with this. I think their design choice was definitely not a good one. I think.
Yeah.
I wish it was like the Spider-Man route, or like very similar to Spider-Man, or like you just had multiplayer, like it was just co-op, but story-driven co-op. Even though they try to have it, but come on, it's a bad Destiny clone. It's not even a good one.
Yeah.
So that's what sucks. And this is you said, was it the same developers who did the Tomb Raider? Was it?
Yeah, it was Crystal Dynamics.
Damn shame.
Wasted potential.
Ghost of Tsushima turned out to be good. I mean, PlayStation, they've been balling these last like 4 years, 4 or 5, with these exclusives. They've been seeing these single player exclusives. They really been kicking ass. You got Assassin's Creed Valhalla. People did like. People did like it.
I think
Watch Dogs.
I was gonna say that one. I feel like undermined Watch Dogs a little bit because
it really
Watch Dogs had such a short like news cycle that I don't really hear people talking about Watch Dogs. Granted, I don't really hear people talking about Assassin's Creed Valhalla, but I think part of that is because the holiday kind of immediately followed that game's release, as well as like the next gen consoles coming out at the same time. So there was a lot to talk about.
There's a lot to talk about, but I think they're both kind of Ubisoft really just, they just bunched a lot of the shit together because you got Immortals that came out too.
Mm-hmm. Honestly, I heard more people talk about that game than either of the other two. But I think that's probably just because it's a new thing, right? Like it's an unknown.
New, yeah. Oh yeah, and you got Genshin Impact, the big surprise. The Zelda clone-ish kind of free-to-play game that is a really good free-to-play game, apparently. I just don't have enough time to play a game like that.
Yeah.
Got Animal Crossing Horizons that came out. That's the real big Nintendo. This was a little this year was quiet. I mean, it was only Animal Crossing really. That was the huge game. I mean, it was a huge game.
You had Zelda, but it just doesn't hit the same.
Nobody cares about your Zelda, Daniel.
No, Dominic, nobody cares about your Zelda.
What are you talking about?
Age of Calamity.
Oh shit!
Hyrule Warriors.
But that came out too late though, man.
Oh, okay.
That came out what? December, November?
Yeah, like early December.
Early December? Yeah, that came out late. That would count. It is the best Zelda game, and it got lost in the sauce, man. It got lost in the sauce because of the new consoles. That's why.
Okay.
They purposely put that there just to get lost. This is all set up. But I mean, I'm not a big. I mean, I don't really care about that Zelda, but I still want to play it, but it's like I'm not like a huge freaking fan or anything because it's still based off the Zelda that I didn't like. What else happened? Yeah, the 10. I'm trying to think what else came out. You got Age of Calamity, which came out recently. You got the Mario 3D All Stars, and that got to top 10. But Animal Crossing, hey, it did very well, and people love that game. But it was compared to the other years of the Nintendo Switch, which is like huge. It's been pretty quiet. It's a quiet year. It's a quiet year for them, and I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I just that's how big those other years were for the Switch.
Right.
Like, it's funny how I say this is a quiet year. It's still louder than Xboxes. I mean, without the console. I mean, Xbox because of the console.
They still had Paper Mario. They still had Luigi. Luigi was this year, right? Luigi's Mansion? Or was that last year?
I thought that was last year.
Yeah, that was last year. Good Lord. Okay, they had Paper Mario, Dominic. That's all they had.
Yeah, but Paper Mario, you know what? Because, the other Paper Mario was on Wii U. So, it probably didn't do as well as you probably wanted because it's on the Wii U. And the Wii U didn't sell a lot. But, I don't know how much people like this Paper Mario, honestly, yo. Like, I don't know. Like, I want to like it. Like, I want to like the other one. I want to still play the other one. I wish they would just re-release it. Yeah, so I just want to know how is that? What's the reception on that? Like, people, it didn't even get mentioned for the Game Awards in like a Mario game. So it must not be that great. I mean, it's good. I mean, I think it's a good game, but I
think it falls in a weird spot too, right? Like for Game Awards, like their categories. Like, I don't think it would win against any of the RPGs that were necessarily up for.
Well, I want to see it in other people's Game Awards, like the other publishers or people's personal. I want to see how much that comes up.
Yeah.
I mean, and not like Switch Awards or something like that, because that's going to obviously come up. Because what else are you going to put up there? I guess you can do all the indie games that came out. Racing games. What was the big racing game for this year? Crash Team Racing.
Yes.
SpongeBob kart racing.
Dirt
There isn't a bunch of.
was kind of
No, there wasn't a bunch of. I'm getting that mixed with my flashback segment. I think I said. Oh my god. What was it? It was another kart racing game. Well, maybe that's all the kart racing games I say in the flashback segment. I'm just getting mixed up. Dirt. Oh yeah, Dirt 5, right? Is that Dirt 6? What is it? Dirt? What is it? Dirt?
I think it's 5.
It's 5. Okay.
Yeah. And I think that
Yeah,
got the boost of just being like a launch title for the new consoles.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it was all right year. You got Persona 5 Royale, which I do want to play eventually, and it's on sale now, but I might wait a little bit more.
Yeah.
Hades was a big surprise and is a big success. Well, I mean, success as far as score. I'm going in.
I
It's
think
just on
it's selling
Nintendo
pretty
Switch
well,
and
too.
Windows. I want to see it come on the other consoles.
Yeah.
Oh, you finally had the Dragon Quest S come out, 11S come out on everything else.
And on Game Pass. Pretty big.
Microsoft Flight Simulator did great. Oh, F1 2020. I mean, but it got rated pretty well, 91 on Metacritic. Spelunky 2. Spelunky 2 finally came out. Ori the Will of the Wisp, the sequel. That came out this year. And then the Yakuza series came out to the Xbox this year.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, overall, good year. Overall,
Yeah, I would say so. There are a ton of games that I didn't get a chance to play this year.
Yeah, I mean, you got Doom, which I did play. That came out. We mentioned the Sony exclusives. None of us really played them. Mortal Kombat had their big expansion, Aftermath. Came out
After Daniel bought it. That's what it should be called.
I know.
Mortal Kombat after Daniel bought it. We're going to release some more shit for it.
That's the biggest games I can think of.
Yeah.
Crash Bandicoot 4.
I was just looking at that one because I saw it on sale I was looking at the PlayStation Store to see if Cyberpunk was back up, which I'm pretty sure I knew was not, but I just like to check every now and then.
Yeah.
And they had that on sale, but I don't know.
Resident Evil 3 came out this year.
Yeah. That talk about one that just kind of came and went with no real fanfare, despite 2 being like this huge thing that was talked about in Game of the Year awards and whatnot last year.
Yeah.
Kind of weird. It fell flat.
Well, but you said that people didn't like it as much as 2 also.
Yeah.
The Grand Blue Fantasy Versus game, fighting game, that looks pretty cool. That came out. That's got some fan service. I think it was going to be at that fighting tournament.
At Evo?
Evo, yeah. Oh, we didn't talk about how Evo's gone. Or if we did, I missed it.
Everything's gone. But no.
Yeah. But they couldn't even do digital, right? They didn't even do digital for theirs, did they?
Because all that shit went down.
Yeah.
Forgot about that stuff.
Oh yeah, what was it? What was it specifically? I forgot. I know it was something covered.
Owner or something we found out was doing some shisty shit, and then everybody just kind of distanced themselves from him. So they were like, okay, we're just kind of not going to do this thing.
Oh yeah, darn. And yeah, they would have had some. Cause hey, Games Done Quick still had their thing happen 2020, and you said they're happening the 4th, right?
Yep. Tomorrow it begins, the 3rd.
Oh, the 3rd. Oh, I forgot. I was thinking today was the 3rd for some reason. Yeah. So that should be pretty cool to have that on, watching it. All right, I think that's it for the year review. And I guess, you know what, next week we can talk about games we played in 2020. Okay. Or we can talk about, depends how much time we got left. Or we can talk about our, what predictions that we predicted. We really got to go look at that to see, did we get any predictions right? Probably got a lot of things wrong because we didn't predict COVID.
No, we did not predict. Damn it. I wish I would have looked to China and said, like, hey, Dominic, I think this COVID thing's going to be really big.
Yeah.
Video games are not going to happen.
Shut up. You don't know what the hell you're talking about.
Just call me the prophet. Yeah. All right, Dominic. So
I'm good.
Anything else?
Nah.
All right. Thank you guys as always for listening. You can check us out on Twitter. Dominic is at DStallworth5. I'm at RegulusMB. The podcast is at Superpod, SUPAPOD. Superpod.com is the website. Has links to all the places you can find the podcast as well as all the podcasts themselves. But you can find us on iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, Google Podcasts, and YouTube. Dominic's got all those posted up there as well, with video game footage behind them from the stuff we talked about that week. So check that out. Give us some likes, subscribe, thumbs up, smash that like button, all those things that YouTube people say when I watch YouTube videos. And until next week, guys, see you later.
All right, see you.